哎 ，Torpedo， 太早出现了吧？我还没有准备好。好，但今天我们很有幸的各位，我们很有幸的又能再玩更多的 Disco 了，耶！对，你是第一个，真是太棒了。Anyways， 所以。我们现在来拷问传说中的 Hardy Boys， 这是我们今天的 Boss Fight， 各位。很多人应该需要 Composure 啊，加 Composure 的东西没有，什么都没有。加 Electro Chemistry， 可以不要再加 Electro Chemistry 吗？手套好像可以加什么 Interfacing 或 Half Light。这副上遮阳帽 Spy 比遮阳帽看得更清楚 ，OK？ 你知道这个现在还是那种可能30年代、40年代那个灯都太亮了。戴着遮阳帽我才看得到东西。戴这个手套。Authority 在减2，Authority 要掉到0了。真的没有加 Composure 的东西哦。加 drama 减 drama visual calculus 不需要，对，再减，可以了。
Look, the insane police officer is back.
但经过一天的调查后，我们现在有很多额外的弹药了。我们发现 Hardy Boys 基本上他们就是在接手那个港口毒品交易的其中一个环节，然后
The small man mimes blowing his brains out. You see his red face contorted.
那我们发现 Hardy Boys 少了一个人，
His fingers touching his temple.
这里只有7个人，但是我们知道还有一个女驾驶，传说中的女驾驶，可能也是 Hardy Boys 的一员。还是冷门？这怎么会冷门呢、这游戏那么热门？这游戏是2019最佳游戏奖得主，2020最佳游戏奖得主，2021连蝉3年最佳游戏奖。有中文，对，没错，有中文，还是繁体的，各位，还是繁体的，太好了。
There's laughter in the room. Try not to kill yourself this time.
那我们还发现 Joyce 跟我们讲到，他们雇的佣兵已经失控了。现在他们在躲起来，随时准备要来杀光所有的 Hardy Boys， 所以也许呢，他会帮助我们树立权威。可惜。
What are you talking about, madman? There's no 8th Hardy Boy. There's 7 of us and we're all here. Or what? You want to be the 8th Hardy Boy? We ain't hiring.
Actually, boss, we've been talking and we think she could maybe...
所以第8个人还因为 Peter 专门问，我专玩好游戏 ，OK， 不是冷门游戏，是好游戏，有时候是冷门的。我专玩给我新的游戏体验的游戏，这样。因为我是不是变态？我是只玩冷门游戏，什么变态癖好了
This person Glenn wants to hire. He really respects him.
Shut the fuck up, Glenn!
I do the talking here. Now what the fuck do you want, cop?
很气了。
So let me get this straight. There is an eighth Hardy Boy. It's a she, and you don't like us talking about her?
That's right. We're not talking about this. This is a private Hardy Boys matter. Nothing to do with your shit. And you're not cops here. Don't go digging around if you don't want a bullet in the back of your head. I'm watching you.
Good. We are all watching each other. Officer, your question.
There's no point in pushing it further. he
Okay.
thinks. This is already a victory. We'll learn more about this eighth Hardy sooner or later.
我们现在可以再尝试一个非常困难的下一个，但是在开始前，我突然想到你眼镜好像也会降好多力。有没有其他眼镜的？那就不要戴了。没有加多余的东西。没有。
Looks like the circus left town, but the clowns are still here.
突然中音切换是破图吗？我破图也破得太神奇了吧！但是因为这个游戏非常的聪明，很创新，你知道吗？创新可以及时切换中英文，所以有时候你觉得它翻译完全看不太公发小的时候，或者出现简体字的时候，你就可以把它切成英文，让你的眼睛不会受到伤害。我觉得这是一个很棒的设计，而且我好像我没有印象，我有看过这个设计，我好像看了一次这样，在另外一个游戏上，我现在想不起来什么游戏，所以这很好，知道吗？这很好，所有他妈翻译游戏应该都要这样。从今天开始，我说，哎，我们现在可以试，我们现在可以尝试树立权威了。
This time it's going to work. You already ruled out the first bad option that didn't.
Pending for what？ 看下去就知道了，田悠悠，看下去就知道了。我们排除的第一个选项就是叫金把枪给我们。哎，我们再试一次吧，把枪再给我。
No, not going to happen.
干嘛？可以啦，一定会成功的。我们要先打击对方的士气。 我们现在可以直接崩溃，开始跺脚。你先告诉我有人被强暴，但又不愿意跟我说是谁。This is bullshit。就这样。
Well, the rest of that Nancy stuff was really just there to make the gun thing more appealing. But it might work anyway.
哇，我们试试看崩溃，在他面前不要崩溃，神经病！不要，我要崩溃。
Stop shitting your pants. You don't need to know, all right? We took care of it. The law handled it, all right?
Yeah. Aren't you listening? It's done. Finito.
你不是法律，我才是法律。如果你冷静来下来想想，我们都是这里的法律。 也许你是对的，也许我根本就不是法律，也许大家都在骗我。
For God's sake, stop shouting! Stop crashing into people in my establishment! Stop provoking those oaths!
Sounds like someone's damn broke.
Oh no！ 大家都崩溃。
They're not going to give you anything, can't you see? I can't have a police interrogation in here. People are trying to eat.
没有客人呐、这里只有一个客人，好不好？跟你没有关系。我把你愚蠢的长毛脑袋扯下来。
What is your...
Easy, babes. What is this? I can't have a slap fight in my bar. It's embarrassing.
We are deep in fast territory. We need to cool off and re-engage later.
哦，我们会 re-engage 的，不要
Everyone
怕
can。see you picked some wrong options. Next time you have to come up with better things to say.
我会的，我会的。
Looks like The circus left town, but the clowns are still here.
我们还知道他们也是毒贩。
Like hell you have. There is no local drug trade. This place is as clean as a rifle. Go back to Jamrock and ask the local junkies how clean your streets are in Precinct 41 Kilo.
我们的名声怎么那么糟啊？
We'll do that. In the meantime, did you know that there's an abandoned lorry at the intersection that was used to move raw ingredients for drugs from Terminal B
弄得我
to
都
Jamrock?
想要开始吸毒了。
The person driving it was present at the hanging. It was one of you. We've connected the footprints. Detective, you want to deliver the coup de grâce?
No, the thunder is his. Leave it to the lieutenant.
没错，交给 Kim。
Thank you. You're right, Titus. There is no local drug trade because it's all controlled by you. You're the drug trade.
Authority 只给就烂建议，他会用的时候别人树立权威，哪会 Authority 会让你得到荣耀 ？OK， 你可以形成荣耀的拱门。跟我讲有什么技能可以让你形成荣耀的拱门？没有。我们慢慢抓起来 ，OK。他们有7个人，我们只有2个人，而且我们其中1个人还把枪搞丢了。不要说枪，我们其中1个还把警政都搞丢了。
That's a mighty interesting theory. I guess that's what you would need to do, theoretically. A big, strong, state-run monopoly would outcompete the runts on the street.
这很共产主义怎么办？我必须同意。
Yeah, man. Theoretically, that's what you would do. To get rid of the gangs, the dealers, even some of the junkies.
You would need good, trustworthy people to take their place, of course. Hardy men to run such a monopoly. For the good of the community, of course.
外面还流通大量毒品，实际上现在我的协议里就有一些。没有啦，我现在很清醒，太清醒了。外面还流通大量毒品，这倒是真的。你承认通过毒品害自己人获利耶？
Boo fucking who? People will always be taking drugs. Might as well do it clean and organized.
Yeah, that's what the labor movement is all about. Clean and
Style.
organized. And the Hardy Boys are running it.
Theoretically, of course. We're just talking politics here. My answer to your drug accusation is, how dare you? Go fuck yourself.
Not quite yet, Mr. Hardy. There were 8 sets of prints on the crime scene. There are only 7 Hardy boys here.
My answer is, fuck off. Mind your own business. There is no 8th Hardy. I run this goddamn scene.
Finally, you got something out of him. This could prove useful in the future.
And here we go.
I know. Fatty walked on all 4s. He's so fucking fat he left 2 sets of footprints. Go fuck your mom, Dennis.
That's more like it, boys. You heard him. It was Angus on all 4s. Anything else you need to know?
我们又可以再树立权威。
You have so many bad options ruled out. It's insane.
没错，一定可以成功的，各位。
The world you won't do.
选第3一定可以成功的。游戏在结果。
Well, the rest of that Nancy stuff was really just there.
我不需要 Ken， 我可以。该死，我可以的。
And what exactly is it you've been doing that's so goddamn special? Shitting yourself in front of us. Going around, harassing kids on the street.
哪有？我是跟
You've done nothing wrong.
我们哪有骚扰小孩？我们是他妈的在社区服务 ，OK？ 社区宣传。
All the while talking racist shit. Don't think we aren't watching, fascia. People here trust us. We're getting complaints.
我才没有嘞，我甚至都没有讲。
What are you talking about? Guns are the only thing you have. Waving them around old ladies' faces, trying to gun down kids.
哪有？没有。
Callie said they've been trying to set up a mass execution. Bulk purchasing guns, ammunition too.
I can believe that. Carly works in a gun shop, you see.
There's no mass execution, officer. Just ask questions and don't get sidetracked.
Please don't set up a mass execution. You'll never be able to pull it off. The logistics alone are insane. Just ask questions. Be a normal cop.
我没办法当正常警察 ，OK？ 我只能崩溃。我知道啊，一定。我觉得问题很明显的，就是因为我们没有刻意足够的快速啊。OK， 开始工作了，各位。汽油加满了，该上了。
Yeah. By friends, you mean his squad mates from Cronell.
Wouldn't want to beat up his grandma.
Nervous, snickering. There's a rush of adrenaline present.
看来他们也会怕那些佣兵，各位。
This is what happens if you take the law into your own hands. Other people start doing it too.
Let them come. The Hardy Boys are right fucking here.
You heard the man. Right here. We're armed. We got the whole district behind us. And Glenn. Glenn is fucking crazy.
Yeah. A well-oiled murder machine.
The mood is on the rise. They're feeling confident, ready to punch out the whole Merc platoon.
他妈！你们这些用前膛枪的家伙，那些佣兵有自动武器。
We got weapons of our own. We got Ister 50s, Zila guns. Glenn's got a knock cannon at home. I guess we're gonna see, aren't we? Yeah, like you've been up against ceramic armor. You haven't even seen the whole suit, right? I've seen the whole fucking thing, and it didn't make him immortal. So were the local gangs, the fucking Barmy army, and the Madre
傻逼
scum.
军团。
You've been up there. Seen any around?
Yeah. Where are they now, huh? Sent back to Madre in an airtight cargo crate.
These people are trained military professionals, special forces, as you say. They are not a gang or Barmy army.
No, they're not. They're uncoordinated and drunk. We know more about them than you think. Big fucking surprise. They hired psycho scum, armed them to the teeth, and let them loose in the city.
He's really prepped himself up for this. He has to keep the fear in check.
他们也不知道打不打得赢佣兵。
What do you mean? Okay.
还有一把枪会站在你这，等我找到我的枪后，我把它弄丢了。
We don't need you or your lost gun. We all have our guns. We'll just use those if it's okay with you.
Last gun or not, you're going to need help. We are offering it.
Okay, I accept the offer, but I'll believe it when I see it.
He appreciates it, but can only accept
终于
it
可以树立权威了，各位，我们是你的朋友 ，OK？ 虽然果然就是有靠毒品。
You have so
What
many
the
bad
fuck
options
is
right
this
now.
going on?
It's insane. There is no way in the world you won't do this to me.
为什么？为什么要怎么这样投？要怎么？还好 Kim 可以拯救我们。毒品现在让我们失败了，我不敢相信。You
know what? You guys must be the cops. Because this is what cops do, right?
He's had enough. He's really gonna push their buttons now.
Live in a bar, sit on their fat asses like they own the place, while the neighborhood goes to shit. Corpses hang from trees.
对呀，你们是这里的法律，你们是这里的秩序。哼，哼。
Hey, we don't have to fucking take this shit.
Glenn.
Everyone shut up!
Fuck you, man. You didn't see the place before we got here. Fucking graffito everywhere.
就这样。
Congratulations on the graffito removal. All I see is you sitting around talking about Monica's titties while there's a rape victim.
So what? What do you want from me? We took care of that fuck.
Don't let him drink that. One more push. Just don't antagonize him. You have this already.
确定吗？我觉得激怒他不错。受害者才重要。
Titus?
She stops mid-sentence. That's it. You got him. He's going to give it up, but on his terms.
You wanna help her, cop? Fine. I'm gonna let you help her. But you treat her with respect. If you don't, if you question her, harass her. A freight train of pain, buddy.
What is her name?
Flavia. I'm on due. She's staying here at the Whirlwind Rags. A real pretty one. Silvery jumpsuit. Blonde. That's I'm on due. With an O-U.
Shit. The girl.
结果发现
Upstairs?
传说中的
That can't be her.
强奸受害人是
You told her you wanna have.
我们第一个遇到的人，然后我们还跟他讲，
Oh, it's her! It's definitely her!
我们还在讲
Oranje
要不要来一发。
dancer.
保持镇定。我想跟你大干一场。啊！不要选这个，不要选这个，该死！不要选这个。
You inexplicably add cool after the victim's name, with your eyes bulging like some wild beast. Your fingers are fidgeting and sweat starts forming on your brow as Titus looks at you oddly.
I don't understand what's so cool here.
莫名其妙在受害者名字后面加了一句，很好。
Nothing. We just have a few more questions.
太好了，实际上。
Whatever you do, do not tell him you know her. That would sound off.
我觉得我认识他。我偏要选这个。每次你讲相反的都他妈的都是好结果。
You don't know her. Not the way I do.
Okay, this turned out better than expected.
干的烂东西。
Relationship? There was no fucking relationship. He raped her. That's their relationship.
Something is off here. His anger is possessive.
It was like that karaoke incident all over again. Or like some of the other girls he was harassing.
Okay, enough. All of this is irrelevant to your stated investigation.
We did it before we killed him. He's not gonna do it again. So what does it matter?
It would help if we establish a timeline.
All right. 2 weeks, maybe? I don't know. I need another beer.
Here you go, boss.
I know her.
How well do you know her?
A small twitch in the corner of Kim's mouth. He has a hunch about what knowing means.
Well enough, copper. We partied. She's been here for a few months.
He tries to make it sound real casual, but the muscles on his neck tighten.
You mean Revachol? Nah, she's an immigrant. Or a drifter of some sort. Been staying here over the winter.
Don't you give her any more trouble. She's just had some bad luck, that's all.
Shut up, Angie. She doesn't need your help.
Titus gives them both a look. They fall silent. What's with all the silences? It's like these guys don't know how to feel about this. You should keep picking at it. And what was up with the partying she and Titus did? It sounded fun.
What do you think I'm in?
唱卡拉 OK。
Yes, yes, and no. Got something to say about it? No, we just fucked. That's all. I'm not gonna give you any details if that's what you're after. So put your dick away.
He really went out of his way to seem comfortable with this topic. That's all you're gonna get from him.
Remember what I said. Freight train of pain.
不要再回顾一下强暴受害人的事情，那种听起来很变态。更重要的是，我变成那个特别人士。
It's not only your eardrums that register sound anymore. Your very skin has become an organ of hearing. Looking for a whisper, light and low. A god who's very, very silent. Nothing escapes you. A cockroach in the other room. A candy wrapper falling on dry grass. A drunk falling from a chair in a bar 20 meters away. In fact, you haven't heard the Col du Mama Dakwa, but you have discovered that you have amazing hearing. It must be the only part of you the alcohol hasn't drowned out. Keep listening.
那你知道怎样吗？我知道我们的政治倾向该怎么选择。我们的政治倾向就是要互相矛盾，同时有所有的信仰。所以我们同时会成为 Revachol 民族主义者和共产主义者。这就是我要做的。这就是我要做的。我们现在多少点？卖1点 ，OK。所以我们真的可以再扣一点点那个 abolition， 如果需要的话。
Officer, what was that?
怎么回事？说到听到他名字的时候，满脸汗流满脸走一般的样子。脱离密室，这看起来像个密室吗？我们是法律 ，OK？ 我们是这条街上的法律。什么脱离密室？密室要脱离我
Yes. Yes.
没事，没事。
The victim? Is there something I should know before we talk to her?
我没有强暴他。
What you're saying is, you raped her?
但没有，你这疯了！老小更不知道上个礼拜发生什么事情。
Ice is forming on the inside of your chest cavity. Cold sweat trickles down your neck.
Then, don't ever say that again. What else? Understood. You were not in good shape on Monday. Okay, that's manageable. Understood.
最好把使用这个话题。我受伤。
It is. This would have been good to know before. It should have. Anything else? We'll be alright, officer. This is nothing.
You feel fortified by his assurance. It's going to be alright.
没事的，没事的。Tim 都说没事的。哦，我们又升级了。
Can I help you? Do I have a shaker in my hand? Is this a shaker?
He sounds irritated.
Am I wearing a little bow tie? Am I wearing a bow tie and doing this? Am I smiling? Do you see me smiling and shaking my little shaker? That's right, I'm the cafeteria manager. I'm glad we cleared that. Is there anything else?
What you want is a goddamn drink. How is that so hard to understand?
不然喝免费的酒。
Play it calm. This man needs to understand you need a drink to help the community deal with police stuff.
我这个被酒精驱动的警探，想要清理死尸或侦破案子的话，直接把酒精灌到我嘴里。
Oh, well, in that case, let me pour you a nice, big, refreshing marinella. Do you want that out of a glass or a pineapple?
凤梨听起来蛮酷的。
Don't be an imbecile. I'm not going to serve you a marinella. I have work to do and broken things to fix.
想要免费的酒有这么困难
I'd
吗
like to return to it. Got the 20 real? Good. You got the room for the night. But remember, you'll need another...
为什么只要20
How
块？
could anyone forget, asshole?
为什么要10块？那这版不是30块吗？还是我们不知道怎么做到的，让它又打折了？
The door is closed.
Who is it?
This is the police. Can we come in?
Come on up. The door is open. I'm drying my hair.
Sounds like it's coming from upstairs somewhere. You could snoop around before going up.
没有听过的货币 ，real， 因为这个是奇幻世纪，这个房间里堆满了悲伤，让你想到你自己。还有这是个旅馆。我天哪！如果司机还在的话，我们还可以看到。
This medicine cabinet is full of wares. Sheets of pills, haphazardly stacked one
What the
on top
fuck？
of the other.
现在第二天了 ，OK， 桥还没下来。
In there. It's been used quite a lot, but not for scrubbing blood of tiles or anything else interesting, it seems. It's clean of chemical odors too, just some dried toothpaste on the handle. This toothbrush belongs to someone who doesn't give a damn about her teeth. Pharmaceuticals line the shelves, sheet upon sheet of pill bottle next to pill bottle. Acetylic acid, APAP, eye drops, blood thinners. This medicine cabinet is stocked with
Anything of note?
pill bottles rattle like bones as you search the cabinet. Paracetamol, something in a foreign language.
什么金科啦？是什么
Behind them,
Necra.
an unusually shaped nasal spray. Its label reads Necra.
An opioid receptor antagonist. It's used for diamorphine overdoses.
鸦片受体拮抗剂。所以总之，这家伙也是一个到达更高境界的人。各位，视力一是不是智障？神经比较粗啦，没有到智障的地步。虽然你有时候会讲一些疯话，像是你会不知道书是什么。
Among some foreign, probably Messinian or Gotwaldian, marked red blister packs you find. What do you find? This is going to take a little know-how.
这需要专业技巧。我们的成功率是90%。
A bright orange bottle with peptide stamped on it, in sunny, happy letters. Jackpot, baby. That's the stuff you're looking for. Your palms begin to sweat just holding that little plastic container.
我们感到兴奋。
And your chest swells with pride. Look, it's made right here in Revachol by San Baptiste, a proud Revacholian pharmaceutical company with great traditions.
手心全是汗。Need for speed。关门正大拿走他，为什么要偷他？
It's speed, man. Just what you were looking for. They call it dextroamphetamine and talk about psychological disorders. But what we're seeing here
我们偷东西
is
是用
some
interfacing，
advanced trucker speed.
这种不需要，因为我们的 speed 有，好像还有10剂，他妈的，我们有永远都吸不完的安非他命。想我是不是真的需要这个东西
Peptide, a euphemism for pharmaceutical amphetamine. Prescription speed.
哦，原来是处方的安非他命。
The fuck are you waiting for? Let's get super fucking preppy. You dropped it.
God damn it.
Smack dab in the middle of the floor. There it is. Orange as the midsummer evening sun. Or
No.
the lieutenant's bomber jacket.
天要失望。
Wow, that's unbelievably orange. Anyone can see that. It's practically effervescent. The lieutenant tries to keep his eyes on the door, but the peptide bottle sounds like a rattlesnake. It's basically a percussion instrument that you're stuffing into your pocket. Who cares, man? Who cares what the stiff thinks? You got it. Here comes the afterburner. Just put it in your sweaty little hand now.
谁在乎啊，老兄？谁在乎那个呆瓜怎么想？你可以的。你有什么感想吗？ 这一点都不酷。干，你 team 干嘛担心呐、我他妈走上来的时候，一手握着一个毒品 ，OK？ 我他妈左手握着安非他命，右手握着反辐射药。你不该感到压
This
抑，
window is pristine on the inside, unlike the one next to
我
it.
不该感到
Light
羞
from
耻
the。desk lamp reflects off the glass, smooth as ice. There are spots of mud and rain on the outside, even smudges. Following your lead, the lieutenant leans in closer to inspect the surface.
Looks like it, yes.
You know which window is not been recently replaced?
这是在干嘛？现在在感到内疚了吗？
Whatever it is, it's messing with your concentration.
Stop distracting him! He has work to do! Plus, if I recall, the window has been giving him shit ever since he got here!
让我们去面对今天的 BOSS 吧。他会完全贯穿我们的防御。我们的心防。薄荷口味的烟给我。
Just as you look at the flowers, a gust of wind raises them from the roof, picking them up in
干，还好没有吸安非他命，你知道吗？不然我们怎么可能有任何机会抓到那一堆被吹起的花瓣
the wind.
？OK， 我当我没讲，他妈，
They're gone.
我要气死了！
Welcome to the roof.
Her hair is still slick from the shower.
因为它是用天然风吹的 ，OK。
Below her silvery jumpsuit, an athletic young body, built long and lean.
Oh shit！ 你在看什么？
I'm sorry for the mess down there. The cleaning lady hasn't come by in days.
I'm beginning to wonder if she ever will. Oh yes, legends of room number 1 have made their way around the building. They say a portal to hell has opened in there.
这里确实存在黑暗能量漩涡，不过不是通往地狱，而是另一个地方，第3个地方。也许我们不该讲疯话，如果我们真的愧疚的话。
A third place? Interesting. That's probably why the cleaning lady quit.
I'm Kim Kitsuragi. I'm a detective from Precinct 57. I believe you have already met my colleague from Precinct 41.
Have I ever? This is the one and only superstar cop. It's kind of a big deal around here.
干什么超级警探？是超级巨星警探，搞清楚。
Wow.
现在我是行星屠宰场的传令官，即将降临的屠宰场。What the fuck？ 为什么只有这个选项啊？
Wow, indeed. And what brings this herald back to me?
Miss, we are investigating the murder of the man down there. The people who put him there have asked us to talk to you.
Huh. I see.
Be careful. Ask something else first. When you go there, use words like, I hear you have been through something difficult. No need to dilly-dally. She's tough.
他想要不要再嗑个药？数字都很大了，应该是不用吧。对付这家伙，我需要可以看到另一种光谱的光，各位才有机会。没有必要磨磨蹭蹭，他很坚强。谢了教练，不过我还是磨蹭一点好了。
You sound like a namby-pamby. Coach Physical Instrument is overdoing it, even by my standards. Say something else first.
Clausier Amondu.
这地方是个烂乡下，所以派出所这个我们两个甚至不是这里的警察，我们两个是其他地方来的，因为这个地方是一个三不管地带。但是终于出了一个事情，让两个警区决定一起派人来合作。你有什么特长？
I'm afraid you can't, officer.
什么
Why is that?
Because it's buried in a sealed plastic bag at an undisclosed location on the coast, along with cash and airline tickets.
Thank you for your candor. Why?
They say so in your tourist brochure. Keep travel documents away from your person when west of the river. If I were to lie to you, I would come up with a more mainstream name than Clausier Mondu. It's a weird name. Okie dokie.
If any of this made her nervous, it certainly doesn't show in her expression or her movements.
可以感到我们的安非他命药效正在消退，怎么办？从寺庙回来就有屁头看，好赞哦！什么意思？
Vredefort, Republic of Oranje.
又是个荷兰人，又是个奇幻荷兰人。然后我们可以无厘头讲Oranje是什么？
A bad memory, officer, of lilacs and lightning, parks, glass, duraluminum. Vredefort is a conference city. It's always autumn there. At night, at least it was for me.
确定一件事情啊 ？OK。
What's so bad about that?
Nothing, if you're no longer there.
The conference centers are filled with people who get angry at you if you do something wrong.
Sooner or later, everyone does. I'm 28.
我们可以不要问这个吗？
Something stupid.
Wanna hear what's stupid? Somewhere in a one-room apartment on Boogie Street, a young man shows Patrol Officer Tilbrook his genital warts. Ask him if they're cancer.
Oh shit.
His partner, Emil Mullins, can't be there. He's in another apartment with another man who's shown him a dead dog under the radiator. It's dead, Mullins says.
就跟你讲，我们是用毒品驱动的 ，OK？
I touched him.
我们刚刚就跟酒保讲了，没有那些化学物在你的血液里窜动，没办法办案 ，OK？
He's warm, Mullins replies, because he's under the radiator.
是个警察，一些蠢事。
No.
比警察更蠢。
Oranese literature. It's what I studied at the university. Fear of failure, fear of death, how it sucks to be Oranese. All national literatures are only the name of the nation changes.
很健康，各位。
If that's true, then Revacholian lit would fit you like a
看我没有被呛。
Nothing. I do nothing with it.
那你怎么赚钱呢？钱很重要，拿钱给他看。
Cool. I've made more money by just being than I have with Oranese lit.
我们要开始讲一些奇怪的话了。Cool.
Many things. A roller skating instructor, a secretary, Miss Oranier 37.
It's the world's most tired smile. Miss Arani, now there is something you should linger.
你不觉得榴莲有点不太合适吗？
All things considered, very. Now linger.
非常不合适。现在开始榴莲吧。
It's a beauty pageant, held in the year of our century 37, in Oranier. It's a competition for stupid girls. Men look at them and choose the most beautiful.
What the fuck?
When you have refused deviations from the norm, I've been told it's a type of mediocrity that I possess.
所以你很蠢。
No. I was the most stupid and mediocre. And I got a crown and a sash and a scepter for it. And a scholarship to study Oranese lit. Mm-hmm.
我把签这个等
I
等
would
让我
offer you coffee, but it's garbage. Literally tastes like poison.
我把确定这个对等等我们讲正事的时候有没有帮助？
The record. So official. Yes. You're just one room away. Very personal.
You do not need to know that. What you need is to ask normal police questions. Like,
Get a grip, he thinks. At least do your personal stuff when I'm not here.
Guys, 听不到我们讲我们想讲的话。
Yeah. It's pretty deluxe.
No one likes to talk about their dirty laundry and their empty bottles. Maybe if you phrase it emotionally.
你的悲伤无所不在。
Yeah. I've contaminated it pretty bad. The contamination spreads from room to room. First, I escaped upstairs. The SAD got that too. Then I found the handle for the summer door. For me, it's a mix of me with a lack of cleaning services. How about you? Talk around the establishment is You have an industrial SAD spill in there.
Somewhere below, military-grade SAD is dripping off the walls. You should say the first thing. It's honest. It will lead to introspection.
下面的某个地方，军事级别的悲伤从墙上滴落下来。应该先说第一个选项，这样比较诚实，可能可以让你引导你反思自我。What the hell?
That's where it always comes from, isn't it? From the head and from the past. Sounds like an advanced form of what I've got, with a bit of old law sprinkled on top. Love is terror.
Sheer terror, panic, and screaming.
It is.
The lieutenant makes a note in. He finds the answer unsatisfying.
暂时不能再讨论窗户的事。
Okay.
Watching herself reflected in the bedroom window, tall and sparkling and draped in smoke.
Something difficult? I've been through at least half a dozen difficult things. Which one do you mean?
我不想说这些。
By sexually assaulted, you mean raped?
No, 他喜欢直接的。
Yes.
It's a bit early in the morning for raped, isn't it?
现在是晚上5点，快6点了 ，OK？
She sounds positively buoyant, vivacious.
其实已经是下午了。
Is it? It is afternoon. Time flies, man. Yeah. I'm gonna go with not raped. I don't want to say that shit about him.
By him, she must mean the victim.
Tell them it's not my style. They'll have to, if they want to jazz up the charges, they'll have to get someone more, rapeable.
What the
Are you saying that you were asked to tell us you were assaulted?
Not explicitly, but I understood what they meant. It wouldn't hurt to spice things up a bit. Some assault and battery. Sexual assault, maybe. It was clear the latter would be spicier.
直接问吧。
Bullet? They shot him too? They stripped his clothes and they shot him?
You mean after they hanged him?
I'm confused. Sorry.
该死，他在装傻。
So am I. Were you aware that he had also been shot?
Well， 其实他不止被中一枪啊，他其实中蛮多枪的。其中枪是我们打的。
I thought he was hanged. I was not present when they did it. I don't know what happened. I just know what they told me and Sylvie, the bartender.
It's hard to know what to think about that answer. She's just tired. Don't push her too much.
Pretty much.
Warming then.
We partied.
你跟很多人开派对了。
A lot of partying going on.
From Titus? About her and Titus's relationship. That's where you heard it.
With all due respect, sir, I think we partied a little harder than that.
哇塞，我们又被呛了。妈的，我现在协议里面一半都是酒精跟毒品，然后他说他的派对比我们更疯狂。我不知道这以上是可能的。
Oh, it is. You're still alive.
What did you do when you partied?
We drank, sir. A lot. For weeks, basically. We had that effect on each other. We made each other drink harder. That's why I liked him.
What else?
Stimulants. Speed also has that effect. making you drink harder. And then drinking harder makes you do more speed. It's quite the combination. We also had sex. A little. The drugs were good enough, and we did enough of them.
How did you two meet?
Downstairs, at the bar. He was on some sort of assignment. A military man, as you probably know. Had a cool, scary scar.
She appears aloof, but that scar part, the scary, is stressed and drawn out. What's that about? Apprehension? With a longing. She misses him.
When was this?
A month ago? Something like that. They're frequent guests downstairs. They have a booth for union members. They're probably down there now. Over drinks. It's been a long, boring winter. A little, yeah.
Like you partied with the deceased?
No, not as hard.
I'm sorry to have to ask this, but have you had a physical relationship with any of the Hardy Boys?
I have. Which ones, sir? I don't remember precisely. Titus, obviously. But as I said, it's been a long winter.
Could that have been part of the reason they hanged him?
I hope not. Actually, I know that's not the reason. I'm careful about that kind of thing. Not crossing the wires, you know? But that's probably where they got the rape idea. Men like that? I don't know. It's the way their imaginations work. I suspect it's what they'd like to do to me.
非常弗洛伊德，各位。
She changes balance from one foot to another, crossing her legs.
I'm sorry, but we're not quite done here yet.
What the?
We have more questions. Better to be thorough now than have to come back to this later.
Okay, how Kim, how?
I'm sorry, I can't do it. Not right now. Later, maybe. I keep seeing him. Like him now. I can't talk about his... I don't know. Hair.
I know it's difficult, miss. We can return to it later.
He had something to do with the strike. One has been roiling since I got here. Rotten timing. But you probably know all about it.
And his role in this strike was what?
I think he was in a security detail. He was ex-military, worked for Wild Pines, and against the Union. We didn't discuss work much, if you know what I mean. But I understood it was dangerous.
And they lynched him for it?
She nods.
Oh yes. I've had a great view. From the roof, out of the bathroom window, in my dreams.
A bitter cringe. It hurts. You look to the lieutenant. He takes a small step closer.
You called us, the RCM.
Yes. I made it. And I would appreciate it if you didn't tell everyone. In Martinez, we call it snitching.
What the fuck？ 叫警察把尸体解下来也是告密，要不然你要怎样把尸体吊在那个院子里多久？
Reporting crimes is confidential in Russia, miss.
Because I couldn't handle it anymore. None of these people called. He just kept hanging there. Then they started stripping him.
Tearing off his arm, demeaning him, throwing rocks at him.
The voice was disguised. Did you...
I didn't exactly disguise it. I just muffled the mic and nicked the landline a little. With nail clippers. And I diverted some radio fuzz into it. Into the cold wire.
Which landline?
The one downstairs, officer. I used the whirling landline. I don't know, sir. It was stupid. I was drunk, too. I was probably afraid the Union was listening in. Locals say they have ears in the wires.
Thank you for making the call, miss. It was the right thing to do.
I didn't want to, sir. But if I hadn't, he'd still be hanging there. I'm 89% sure. You know how it is.
Do you?
Maybe you don't know.
There are numerous cigarette burns on those silvery scales. Easy to see now that you're closer.
In conclusion, officer, I'm gonna go with a mild to medium not raped here.
She takes a long, hard drag of her cigarette, then stretches her neck. You hear cracking in her shoulders.
对吧？全都问过了，我向你高兴的 Kim。
She breathes a silvery sigh of relief and weariness.
Should we head by downstairs, officer? We may have things to discuss there.
She nods. Silvery cigarette fumes disappear into her mouth. She looks back. Time moves slowly. The triangles of her face rearranging into a weary smile. Don't worry. We will protect you from her beauty. We will consult you through the reefs and sounds of her persona. You are advised. There are muscles on long white bones that line her limbs, just below the silver jumpsuit. Nothing, just time passing. Don't worry. You are not a fool. Anything out of the ordinary and you would be notified. Air moves in your windpipe. Your heart beats. You're a detective. Get back to detecting. She presses her elbows against her waist and slowly turns her head. Her hair brushes her shoulders, making a small hissing sound, almost imperceptible.
没有吵架，大家都同意 ，OK， 大家都同意，他们有在专心，有在注意，有在发挥100%的功率，没有任何细节和不寻常的事情会逃脱我们的注意。没事的。
The strange moment ends. It was brief, no longer than 2.2
What
seconds.
is there?
Why not? I was just thinking, what a nice day for questions.
该死，药效结束了，怎么可能？我失去了我的能量。看，我们现在在找到独特的药丸，各位。独特药丸好处就是我可以分开吃，有加倍的效果。看没有，这是个问题。我们的那个反辐射药吃光了，但是因为我们点的特长的关系，吃这个也可以提高我们的意志力，所以我要吃了。直接在他面前吃其他的安非他命，干嘛？处方药丸嘛，没事的。
What a nice day for questions. Pertaining.
Just like
God
the last
damn it!
time, light brown eyes look back at you. All is as it was. The fume rise from her lips. She's just as beautiful. Don't worry. We will protect you from her beauty. You are advised. The strange moment ends.
Looks like we have more to discuss with those so-called Hardy Boys. Half their reasoning just went out the window. Nothing will make them respect the RCM, but it will disrupt the game they prepared for us. We just stripped off one layer of whatever it is. Her decision to not corroborate their story was definitely not part of the plan. What else could she have done? Lie? She saw there was no way to lie and get away with it. If not you, then me. It was a smart move from her. You think so? She seemed forthcoming. Unusually so. Being forthcoming about some things is a good way to obscure other things. The best liars are always forthcoming. Anyway, we should move. I suspect our investigation will bring us back here soon enough.
但反正这个对话最重要就是我们发现 Hardy Boy 说他们杀死那个佣兵的原因是因为他们强暴了当地居民，但是我们发现似乎没有，所谓的被害人不认为是这样。然后被害人还跟我们讲说，这个说辞是 Hardy Boy 叫他跟我们讲的，所以整个动机，他们杀人的动机就没了。
I was just thinking, what a nice day for.
可怎么药现在还不够？无可发达到死！我天！我们的 composer 也提高蛮高了，我已经无法感受到我的脸了。
The same small, heavy door. No lock in sight.
Shit! 别介意我。
You kick it, gung-ho style. Entering the premises style.
All right, let's trash the place.
Let's not.
Your foot is ready to
你
explode.
敢不尊重力量？
Object.
再停下死人了。
The door receives a thorough disciplining. At the cost of your foot. Your foot hurts.
我们是没有训练踢门技巧吗？会踢到自己受伤。辐射是预测还是可以调的，当然是冒险的过程会找到新的衣服穿，可以让你不那么的 disco。因为有时候有些人觉得你太 disco 了。踢到心脏病发。钱都来了，我们尝试做一些其他事情。
Kim also tries not to look at the pile of tape viscera on the carpet, or the weird suitcase on the hat rack, or the potted plant dying in the corner. But it's all just too morbid to ignore. The man is finding it hard not to trip on the tape, and not to send any of the bottles rolling across the floor. He nods.
And by that you mean crimes against humanity?
房子乱七乱乱的，怎么会是反人类罪啊？我在这里违抗了资产阶级的道德，而且非常强。
I have no idea what that means.
Wow, you work hard. Oh, yes, you hustle. You're a provider. It's tough out there, but you keep it real and provide. Look at yourself. You're a human pedometer. You must have walked 200,000 steps down cracked asphalt, mosaic, sand, and linoleum. That is the sign of a hustler who never gives up. The world is harsh and people are evil. You didn't make it that way, and you won't let it break you. You ride. That's just what it's like, life and death. But you got gills on your side, baby. Got those black papers with the faces of the innocents on them. You bring in the Franco Negros and the Solas.
怎么会有怪怪选项？因为我们是一个非常不寻常的警探。
It ain't easy, but you do it, day in and day out. You didn't make the rules, but you won't lose. You're a cop and a sprinter and a money printer.
我们的投资的确很成功。
Can't say that. You shook him. You're a killer. A shark. Wasn't easy getting that giant novelty check from Everard. took some ingenuity to get into the harbor, but you got in, and you took that bribe as hard as any cop's taken it. You didn't log that in as a donation either. You don't log any of that shit in. You're a straight rider.
这样才可以1块钱，好不好？
Yeah, you're in the sales business. Shake 'em for shit and then pawn it off. Law officer style.
Yeah.
Sure. And has it been easy? Is life easy? Have you not gone into cardiac arrest? Are you not about to have an anxiety attack or shoot yourself in the mouth? But you still hustle 24/7, ride or die. Now, ask yourself, are you rich? That's right. You work harder than anyone. You almost rode yourself to the grave and you're still practically a hobo. Why is that?
这假的教授，他每天跟我征收20块钱的税，可恶！这个体制的问题。税收真他妈的该死的兄弟！
That's right, 100%. Fucking G-Man's got his jam-covered sticky fingers in your
该死的 G-Man，
stealing from you
偷我们的钱。
Buy, sell, walk, talk, fart, so much as sneeze. Every time you wipe your ass, they got their direct and their indirect modes of taxation. Sales tax, excise duty, extraction tax, alimony. One tax that doesn't even have a name. Plus there's the stuff people in other countries pay for. That makes them ask for more money from you. Here, total tax duties add up to 98% of all
Holy
your
shit.
money.
这世界的税制太高了吧！我要成为一个自由市场原教主义者了。
What are you not sure about? They're milking your nipples till they bleed. Can't you see? Aren't you sick and tired of having bloody nipples?
流血奶头不让你感到愤怒吗，各位？我要接受思想，但是一点不，这说的对我让我产生共鸣了。他妈的没门！我要信仰 ultra liberal。
Here you go, hustler. Fight the righteous fight. Free the people. Keep it real. Keep it street. Keep foaming at the mouth furiously on the tax issue.
该死的税！
A mirror hangs on the bathroom wall. In it, your face.
没有生任何有用的东西，这是怎么做到的？
The window stands broken in.
带 Kim 参观了我们的房间呢。但没有，也许我们真的应该成为一个极端自由主义者。我们应该大脑里同时有所有的理念，让我们成为一个真正的完人。间接式征税模式。如果你在考虑任何备胎思想，别紧张。反对蛛丝帝国的间接征税与世界上所有信条都彻底的相容。这其实特别酷。你现在是一个酷酷的无政府主义者，除非你并不想成为一个无政府主义者。不重要，赶紧把这一张饭票塞进自己眼窝里，看看能不能从那些在海关上班的强盗贵族，还有易苏林敌金融监管及竞争委员会的无赖手里偷些爱回来。这太多了，我大脑快爆开了，没办法再塞更多东西了。我不知道再升个几级再说。发现你们都在说谎啊，各位！
Behind the dock workers, ceiling height window. The hawthorn branches scrape the glass like bony fingers. The men are talking, but you swear you hear those black limbs tap on the window as the wind blows outside. Nothing.
What the？ 今天是怎样啊？今天都在干嘛？我要气死了！又在插烟。
Doesn't reach the hawthorn. There's a little slide panel up there to let some air in. You're not so sure about that. Somehow you just know there's something out there
该
behind
死！
the glass.
我们的直觉让我们感受到，我们该再看一眼。
There's a
在
yellow
18好像
ribbon
骂
tied
脏
to
话。
one of the branches, light yellow, faded with time. A tiny splash of color in the blackness of the thicket, hanging from it, a bronze key.
Huh?
And I need the fatty to get his feet amputated because the smell is killing me. We can't always get what we want.
God damn it, Dennis. You know I can't help it.
Sorry, fucko. These guys won't help you. Looks like you're gonna have to go bush diving. The hawthorn's got a bitch of a bite.
I'm gonna enjoy the sight of you in the bushes out there.
With a loud thud, the old man stands up, pushes the window open, grabs the key from the hawthorn branch, and slides it across the table to you. The key is brass. Workshop spare is etched to its bow. The old man closes the window and sits back down in silence.
Come on, man. We were just having some fun. Where's the harm in?
I'm tired of listening to your shit. Off yourself. Make it up to me, cop. I still got my money on that.
但是他谢谢我就把我逼，是吧？我们现在是自尽吧。
There is a silence around this man's words. Unlike Titus, they're afraid of him. That's the type of respect he commands.
It's you again. What is it?
发现你们没有杀人动机。
Fuck. I knew that fucking whore couldn't be trusted.
You've hit a nerve. Titus is furious. No, more than that. The loyal Titus feels betrayed.
For the record, Titus Hardy did not explicitly specify the victim as a whore, nor did he say anything about trusting her.
Oh, shut up and stay out of this, Liz. He raped her. He was out of his fucking mind.
She's just in denial, asshole. You don't understand the traumatic experience. She's shutting down, and she doesn't fucking trust you.
Yeah, she's crazy, you know. A crazy bitch. You know the type. She's fucked up.
Lawman, I'm at the end of my goddamn rope with you. I fucking told you not to push her.
His hands become fists.
And you went and pushed her. I am gonna fucking...
Hit you. Duck.
Titus Hardy.
哇，我们轻易的闪开了。
Success. Titus backs off.
我没有。
Fists down, everybody. God damn, no one tells you to put your fists down.
Everard personally sent me to take care of this. If this goes south, we'll all be in the shit. But you, Titus Hardy, are going to be buried. Am I understood?
The room is so quiet you could hear a pin drop.
Everett 才是
The rest
真
of
正的
the
老大。
cafeteria has gone quiet too. Someone has to rush in to break the tension. The second in command.
Look, Copper. We know that fuck was a rapist and a killer. We got him confessing to it on tape. Show it to him, T. What's the harm, right?
Here, jerkwad. Listen to this shit. And then come back and tell me the soldier of the apocalypse was an innocent man.
Another apocalyptic actor in town.
干，为什么要学我？
You think we go into this shit deaf and dumb. You RCM aren't the only ones who know how to bug people. There's no university degree for that. We have machines. We're in logistics. How do you think a harbor works? It's advanced stuff.
Understood. You've listened in on their communications. How long?
Since way before their chief started taking swing lessons.
Things got nice and quiet after that.
It's not advanced. You just hold up in a coop all day, writing down what they say. It gets hot as hell in there.
Don't put yourself down, Angus. It's important work.
Yeah, man. You're like a radio genius or something. Those notes are some in-depth stuff. Indexes and shit.
I'm sure we can find a tape player.
Where can I listen to this? Why don't you try shoving it up your ass, genius?
Yeah, play it with your
不能在他面前示弱，你知道吗？
I'm sure we can find a tape player.
好了好了，不要再讲，我知道。
Your room had one. Or maybe it's too broken.
You don't care about evidence. The fucking you a cop for then.
Fix, T. They don't care about getting the truth. They care about getting convictions.
I won't be on your bulletin board. If you don't listen to the tape, we got nothing to talk about. Don't forget your tape, lawman. Compliments of Titus Hardy. You do that. Oh, and keep it. Maybe you'll need a reminder of human ugliness someday.
需要找个录音机，各位。门枪手精选集。
You stare at the great door gunner Mega
What the
Mix.
hell?
If only you had a boombox, you would be able to play Titus's tape. The tape feels ominous. Upon it, the dead speak. Respect the tape.
Respect the table。这叫什么啊？我觉得我们需要其实这双新鞋子。是不是其实可以把自己的录音机修好啊？还是那是我的想象？因为你知道我们很穷，如果我们买东西的话会被课税。我最讨厌给大政府我钱了。可以的，我们可以修好它，再戴上我们的工作手套后。
The compact tape player is still and silent.
没有，你没有坏掉，该死。
Completely broken down now. There's no fixing this one.
This would have been very helpful with the Mega Mix, but it isn't anymore. My kinema only comes with radio. Let's try to find a new tape player.
Nice. 因为我们甚至不是警察，因为我们甚至我们的警察的合法性都有问题，而且我们是法国人，不是美国人 ，OK？ 我们是奇幻法国人，奇幻巴黎人。我们是奇幻巴黎人。不是奇幻美国人，对不起。嘿，我们连政府都没有。 该死的外国人统治着我们！该死的外国人和女人！
The boomboxes on the shelf look well loved and well traveled. Chipped, dented, they stare at you with the unblinking eyes of their tape reels. One especially catches your eye. Deep gold and amber plastic with a big old handle on top. A classic boombox that says Stereo 8 approved. This is you. Golden orange. A sunset suite. Just make sure it works before you buy it.
Sorry, man. I can't be giving out freebies. Never have, won't now. Absolutely. I've tested each one myself with recordings of speech, found sounds and music from a variety of genres. Even though I don't really like music. Is the Harman Welshie W2 made in Vespa, designed in Seoul.
那个警察时刻吧，我们是大商人呢，我们是大忙人。
It's even got a little a discount. I do have to keep the lights on.
电费要12块吗？
12 real.
拜托了。
A man like that in a neighborhood like this, in a rickety house falling into the sea, there's fear in him. Use it to your advantage.
No, not really. I expect momentous change at any moment, but it seems that you are. Fine. 4 realities.
Wow, 谢了。
Success. Sort of. Whatever gets the job done, right?
And here you are. Quality sound reproduction on the go. It'll play anything, wherever. Turn any tape into a conversation of sounds and shapes.
他妈的 ，River 学法文，我所有地名都法文，然后你说像是战后德国，有没有搞错？我们是世界，曾经是世界的中心。我觉得怎么看这里都是奇幻法国，这很不奇幻德国。那么他们大家讲10句话，里面有1句会变法文，然后你跟我说是德国 ？No.
You see rows of toy soldiers guarding the rest of the trinkets.
哎呀，这真的是奇幻德国，我是奇幻法国啊！我们的真正流浪汉组合已经完成了。但是担心我们会突然眼睛凸出来，然后从裤裆里掏出一把枪，把它给碰掉，那才是他担心的，而且他该担心。老实讲
The porter reel is just what you needed. The reels attach to the apparatus.
我们在这里播放这个似乎不是个好主意。
The tape is rooted behind the magnetic reader.
Das ist eine Regenschule. Das ist a fucking village. I can see the elephants.
The harbor. That's the son of a Valson crane.
The fuck， 连起重机的声音你都听得出来，还是哪一排的？
When this shit is done, I'm gonna tear that place up. Soldier of the apocalypse style. Kill shit. Dogs and chickens too.
该死的那个中文的植入的错了。
Gonna run a room, Cordy. A real nice room. I don't give a shit. I'm fucking done. I'm done mentally. I'll fucking do them all in. Rape that disco cunt on the counter. You know, the dance a whore upstairs. Do it Kohoi style. Never did get that taste out of my mouth.
The lieutenant presses the
就这样
button marked Arete on your
就这样
portal reel. The tape stops spinning.
A village on the Samaran Isla in South Safra. Crab committed war crimes there, the kind of thing he talks about. Who knows? Maybe the tattooers would have an answer. We would need to know the story of this man's service. End of recording. It seemed authentic enough. Probably recorded off the shortwave, then edited to seem more incriminating. He sounded like he was on patrol around the harbor walls.
What the fuck？ 他妈的把那窃听器装在整个墙外。这样听起来还好。
Indeed, but
there's more going on here than we know.
One of the other mercenaries, I think. The one he was talking to. A friend of his? I think we've got a few more questions for Class here, don't you? This seems to contradict her testimony, at least to some degree.
As you take out the tape, the boombox tunes itself back to the cheery radio again, spewing out beats like it's a Friday night. The contrast feels chilly, inappropriate even.
就这样，但基本上被害人 I mean 谋杀案的被害人说他们想要犯下强奸案 ，so 又让我们的证据的可信度稍微改变了一下，那我们可以去对证了。应该可以在天黑前把这个案子办完。
It's you again. What is it? Smart boy. You go do that.
哎，那这有改变什么吗？这有改变动机吗？你知道所有的男人都是强奸储备犯吗？我们不需要听到证言也知道。
The same small, heavy door.
I was just thinking, what a nice evening it is for taking part in a murder investigation.
She puts her coffee cup down with a soft ring as the porcelain meets the metal table. This does not surprise her.
Did he? I never said he was a good man, or that he had good intentions. Only that he was never bad to me. Where did they get this recording exactly?
It's intercepted radio chatter of the deceased, recorded via a de-encryption station. It's authentic enough.
Does he say he's gonna do it Soldier of the Apocalypse style?
The phrase was used.
Yeah. That was practically his pickup line.
A memory surfaces in her tired neocortex. It's not entirely unpleasant.
Did he say whores a lot? Was he pretty much on the verge of doing it Cohol style? He wasn't actually there. He didn't do a tour, or at least didn't tell me he did. Would have been overkill anyway. He lived his own little Cohoy. It wasn't his everything.
Yes, was he bragging?
Oh no, I'm pretty sure he did all those things. Then integrated them into his idea of normalcy. Keep on living until they just sort of turn into his, what's the word I'm looking for? Running joke. I was gonna say running joke. And it sounds like he didn't even get the good bits. Lely's punchlines got way, way funkier than that.
但反正是说他们讲那些他要反人类罪，都只是他就喜欢这样讲啊，他讲话就这样，他完全正常。
He was like the Seminole
这没有什么。
conflict, the Khohar massacre, and the 36 famine in Yezu all rolled into one person, then cast in Orani ceramic armor, which he wore in bed and in the shower.
When he said he was done, and done mentally, it didn't sound like a joke. It sounded like a deeply troubled man.
Well, maybe I pieced him back together with my magical personality. We're all scraping up any happiness we can find, officer. Going around with our little scouring sticks. You, your first love, Mr. Khohar here.
Did he tell you he had actually done any of those things in Martinez on you?
No. We were too busy laying waste to our own nervous systems to direct any of the fury outward. He seemed happy, I guess. At ease. As much as a man like him could be.
There is a small measure of pride in her, that she could quell the rage in such a being.
Thank you for clearing that up, miss. Whenever you're ready. I'm interested.
She takes a very small sip of her coffee and
但反正就发现又是该死的哈利波特才是想要捣乱我们，那死！
This window.
晚上了，可以喝酒了吧？晚上喝酒合理了吧？这个旅店好 disco 啊！
It's you again. What is it? Van. That fucking fucker. You're the worst cops in Revachol. I gave you gold on that tape. Dark. Dark is when you start a goddamn death rock band. He said he'd rape her.
Sounds like he wanted it to change her mind about the hanged man. This is definitely personal.
你果然是嫉妒啊 ，Titus。
What did she have to say then? Fine by her? This is what people are supposed to be like? Fucking whoop-de-doo.
我觉得是让他有点怀旧啊。
Yes. In fact, I think she thought it was a little funny.
Funny? Oh, good goddamn psycho whore. All fucking right. I guess it's good then. fucking.
Please try to control yourself in the presence of visitors, Titus.
Okie dokie. This is just perfect. Just fucking perfect. Any thoughts on this, lawman?
Women are crazy. Irrational. That's what you're thinking, right? Also, your fists are itching for a bump.
你的都是疯子。
You can say that again, copper. Right here.
Here we go. Bump it hard. Your fist connects with his. The slam.
男人的连接。
You can almost hear his bones.
我们不需要女人。
Tingle, life-affirmingly. A flash of pain, like slamming your fist against iron. He is stronger than he looks, and he looks like Mahmoud Kazai.
妈的，我们转个拳头都要高潮了。
And now you, being a Clark.
The lieutenant adjusts his glasses, then extends his curled fist and taps Titus's bruised knuckles. A bond has been formed.
我们三个一起变丑女。
Not bad.
Everyone's got feelings for each other. Where are you going with this?
That's all right, Boone. I just thought I thought anyone would come around if they heard that shit. Apparently I was wrong.
Yeah, that was fucked up.
You wanted her to see the man for what he was. Now that you know, you might want to lay off this topic, or else you might antagonize him.
I just got too worked up. Big man lost his shit. It's cool now. I already told you. You fucking handy.
There's less gusto in his voice now. His men too are growing increasingly.
当他们发现 Class 把他们出卖以后，马上变得非常合作，各位。
Come on, Titus. We know you didn't hang him. He was shot. I know you're tired. So am I. Why don't you just...
You know what? I am tired. I'm tired of you and the whore upstairs. Next time you see her, tell her Titus said, "Fuck off!"
This is the petulant rage of someone who's at the end of their wits.
That lying, scamming. We're done. This is over. You understand? Your little investigation is over.
什么？我还有没有合作了
Yeah.
On the floor, beer drips out of the can into a small puddle. No one does anything about it.
What is this quiet funeral shit? All we need is some beers in us. Bartender, 20 beers for the Dock Workers Union.
Why do we make it 40, huh? Why do we make it 100 beers? You're not loud enough.
100 beers? Now we're talking.
你可以分我一些吗？
Cafeteria manager.
The window might be closing. The more beers they get in them, the less cooperative they will be.
加这么多，但是我们实在太烂了。我的手上也还没有拿着毒品，怎么办？我也没有升级，我们必须尝试说服他们。因为我们今天他妈一堆70%的，一直失败，40%总该成功吧？你老师你！
Like a fiddle. Tell them how bad they got played.
而且这差异是怎样？每天都在差异。
There are many ways to go about it. All of them really good.
所有的选项都，我还是认清。
That is absolutely not going to happen.
对我开启 ，yes。
But I didn't say anything.
What are they whispering, Titus? I can't hear anything.
I don't know. Some kind of bitch fight, I think. Hey, bitches. No fighting in the union booth. Talk or walk.
So, you put the gun in your mouth for the other guy. Couldn't even get it in your hand for me. This is bullshit. We'll never convince them without a gun.
我把事情真相跟我们讲了，我们永远什么都不会知道。我还需要30的经验。算了，今天结束了。看几点？9点36。我们是可以去买一根烟来抽，我们可以快速的得到30的经验。简单吧？30的经验可以的啦。30经验太容易了。看看有什么事情可以找到30经验。我们可以去找我们的象征，我们的鸟。
The lights are so pretty when it gets dark. Oh, that's Auntie Billy. She's nice if a bit distressed. I think she is a bad husband. Not very nice or helpful. No, sir, I can't. It would be too tiring to refrain from it. It's already tiring enough to remember to say it all the time. It's nice of you to say I could stop, though. That's a friendly enough face, most of the time. Crime fiction is about murders or burglaries or things like that, and the work of a policeman or a private detective who's trying to solve a crime and catch the criminals.
Crime is a deviation from the law, punishable by either a civil or criminal sentencing. It's what the law prevents.
什么叫点白色圈啊？白色圈是什么？没有白色圈那种东西。白色圈是他妈的你的 Thought Cabinet 完成的时候出现的，那不会给你经验，该死。
It's exciting to people, I guess. They get to imagine dangerous things, and it's kind of like a puzzle, where you can guess who the criminal is, or how the good guys are going to catch him. You don't look much like a policeman. Didn't mean to offend, sir. Sorry, sir. It's just that you don't look like Dick Mullen.
Dick Mullen 才不是警察嘞。
What's that mean? And everything's better now, sir? Why is that?
我是一个永远不会快乐的人。
Oh, okay. I shouldn't have said that thing about Dick Mullen.
She looks at Dick Mullen, frowning. Dark, arrogant, violent, likely overcompensating for something. She examines the cover, trying to gauge the inner workings of the detective.
他无法跟我的敏感的灵魂相提并论。
Of course not, sir. He's just a fictional character. He'll be no match for you. Maybe you can show me some real police work, sir. Like in the books.
那听起来不错，但是我得先抽根烟。God damn it! What the fuck? What's my fucking thoughts?
She waits intently.
It's okay, sir.
我被一个小女孩安慰了。为什么我的士气没有受到打击？我的士气该受到打击。
You see a...
Excuse me, officer.
She's right. Those curtains give off some eerie vibes. You see some kind of charm, an irregular polyhedron assembled from bones, sticks, and straw. Aside from poking at it suspiciously, There is nothing else to do with the fish head charm at this. Just as you're about to pull up.
Sir, don't touch that. I told you it's off limits for the customers. Parapsychologically speaking, we're done if you decide.
超心理角度。
I won't be held responsible for the consequences.
She looks away, mumbling. Why is everyone always messing with the curtains? Why can't they just buy books like normal people?
You do? My God, even more reasons not to mess with the curtains. Just step away, dear sir. No, it's just a storeroom for the employees, I told you. Now please step away from the curtains. Thank you. Let's just talk about this first, all right?
What are you, a coward? Think about the marvelous adventures waiting for us on the other side.
Lies. Rip them open, we say. There is something mysterious about the curtains. Be careful. The curtains, tattered with age and covered in dust, hang before you, as if taunting you.
Welcome to crime, romance, and biographies of famous people. Be welcome, and please take responsibility for the energy you bring into this space.
A golden pendant hangs around the woman's neck, in the shape of what looks like a tiny fish head trapped in
Sir, don't be ridiculous. I certainly will not give you money. I would be doing you a grave psychic disfavour. One has to earn one's success, even if one is a police officer. Handouts are nothing but manipulation. All they do is make you dependent.
该死！你是在觉得警察赚钱方式有问题？
Son, you got destroyed there. What an idiot you are.
Oh yes, helps to have an anchor in these times. I am the proudest owner of our little shop of culture.
She has fine-tuned her voice to find the most welcoming approach for attracting new customers. It doesn't work.
Annette, yes, my daughter. I hope she wasn't slacking off again with her nose in science fiction. Tell me, was she at her post doing her job like a proper girl? Wonderful! Did you talk to her? Great! On a scale of 1 to 10, how compelled were you to buy books after talking with her?
我没有钱买书 ，OK？
Her opinion of her daughter depends on how well she lured you into the store.
我不会给人类评分的。
Come now, it's not personal. It's about proper sales practices and market research. I expect an answer. My precious, her dedication brings joy to my heart. If you have children, I hope they turn out as great as my Annette.
哇塞，自由市场，我们可以完成这个啊！我知道了，我知道在想什么了。
The woman before you.
点那个豆豆会加经验是需要有一个天赋，但是我们现在还没有那个天赋。但我们现在可以去拿那个天赋，而且大概那个会给我们点经验。那就是我们需要找个有钱人跟我们解释，找个有钱人跟我们解释这个世界，那就是我们现在需要去做的。
Just an ordinary war. Nothing to see here. Yeah. Why?
Why must we stop?
不是白的事，你知道吗？不是白的事。实际上，现在都不能点小豆豆了，我要留着小豆豆以后再点。
What we do. I'm afraid I don't speak for Wild Pines as a whole. It's a giant undertaking. The Pines' core competency is logistics. Container shipping, freight, that sort of thing. And that is the terminal. Another subdivision deals with energy, oil and gas exploration, offshore platforms.
She enjoys talking about the company. It would not hurt to inquire more.
I'm not at liberty to discuss the company balance sheet, but I can tell you that last year the company booked more than 20 billion real.
200亿。
A billion?
我们连亿是什么都不知道。 这就智力一是不是白痴的样子？就是这样，就这样。
It's a number, officer. A big one. It's made of 1,000 millions. A million is made of 1,000 thousands.
Whoa!
And to think, there are years when the group books losses in the billions. Warpines employs 72,000 people, all of whom have families that depend on their salaries. It is a tremendous responsibility. They started as an exploration and cargo fleet conducting trade between the Samaran and Insulindian Isolas 250 years ago, when pine ships explored the South Seminese and charted Lormentang on behalf of the suzerain. Centuries of care, deliberation, and madness have gone into this endeavor. Vessels pass through the great unrest to re-emerge with apricots in tow. The logic of the system is totalizing. It's taken everything from its employees to build it. You mean aside from being the terminal's legal owners, who are responsible for moving 8% of the world's cargo?
让它运作的人不是你，而是伟大的劳工阶级。
We built this district. All the best parts of it. Rue de Saint-Ghislain, with its bastions. The plazas Meteor and Mosaic. Even some of the old street lamps have been put back thanks to the investments from the WP.
为什么这个地方是个贫民窟？
Before Martinez was swallowed by the industrial harbour, even before it was part of Revachol, long before Terminal B was erected here, the Pines built it as a resort for its Revacholian employees.
The hell， 这里曾经是员工度假岛，但现在是个贫民窟，就是。
A company getaway, for a weekend or a summer holiday. Then came the revolution. But that's another matter. I'm here to make sure the Pines can fulfill their responsibilities to the place they built.
30的经验还真难拿。Hey, conscript.
With your help, hopefully, says her warm tone.
This reality.
The aim is to gain a deeper understanding.
Ah, yes, the episode. Sounds like an acute case of encephalopathy now that I think
喝太多药，喝太多酒造成。
Don't be phased, madame. He functions perfectly well. He only needs a lowdown on all of reality.
We may be here a while then. Ask away, officer. I'll help however I can.
All right, you're in. Begin
Oh
with
my
the first
God.
one. You look ill.
这太难。Impossible check.
A strange coldness comes over you as you look at the world. The waves sway the sloop slowly. That's all.
什么是急性脑病变？
It's a neurological disorder caused by lack of vitamin B in the brain. Symptoms include retrograde amnesia. It's quite serious.
你确定不是因为太缺乏镁吗？
She conveys it in short, cold bursts, trying not to invest too deeply in the condition of this doomed detective, in case he goes down later, souring the entire portfolio.
Be my guest. We're in Martinez, baby.
Baby?
A casual term of endearment popular among the 50-plus crowd. It's a disco holdover, pay it no heed.
叫人宝贝已经不酷了，各位，是50年的老婆婆跟老阿伯才叫人宝贝的。但刚好我也50岁，或48岁，或38岁，该死，我怎么还那么年轻？
Aren't we all? Martinez is a district of Revachol. A very small district tucked away near the industrial harbour. North of the 881 and Jamrock. You would be excused for not knowing about it. Unimportant, they say. Forgotten even. Shelled to smithereens during the revolution. It has its charms, just not this time of year. I would be happy to. What? We're in Martinez. Martinez is a district. You would be excused for not knowing about it. Unimportant, they say. Forgot? Revachol? Revachol is what you call a city. The great kind.
As if it's self-explanatory. Beyond patriotism. A fact.
History detective. They built this city to resolve history. Our part in it, at least. Our centuries. The nations of the Occident, or migrant workers from Seminine and Ile-Marat, depending on your creed.
是奴隶建成的。
In the DeLorean century, 380 years ago. They say it's where the terrible questions of our time will be answered. The tensions are highest, the fault lines deepest. By that I mean conflicts. Ideological conflicts. The stuff of men. We are standing on a fertile, self-sufficient island able to sustain up to 200 million people. In the middle of the Insulindic Ocean, the world's connected tissue. It's where the money is. Oh, we're quite a way off. About...
A sparkle of lights on the horizon, like evening stars above the curvature of the planet.
22 kilometers from the center of the world. That soldering iron is the bank of the world building. The bottom floors are Insiacom. Coalition government, Insulindian Mission Command.
Silence. She lowers her hand. The water, the light. It's as though you're seeing it for the first time. There is no recognition. Only the immensity of the sea and the cold radiating from it.
We are where we are. I have no truer answer to give, unfortunately.
This is one thought you need to complete. Where are you?
Was there something else you wanted to know? I remember something about a lowdown.
This has been informative. Thank you, ma'am. I'm sure my memory-impaired partner has many more questions too. Might I suggest not asking them all right now? Messier will be here later too, and tomorrow.
Kim 觉得我们问太多了，
Absolutely.
他受够
My
了。
commitment here is long-term.
Oh, of course not. You are already diligent for getting this far, and diligent boys remember where they left off.
Indeed. I'm always at your service. Glad to have been of assistance. The little that I know.
Mazovian Socio-Economics.
这就是伟大的共产主义建造者。
0.000% of communism has been built. Evil, child-murdering billionaires still rule the world with a shit-eating grin. All he has managed to do is make himself sad. He is starting to suspect Krasmezov fucked him over personally with his socio-economic theory. It has, however, made him into a very smart boy with something like a university degree in truth. Instead of building communism, he now builds a precise model of this grotesque, duplicitous world.
共产主义的建设进度只达到了0.0008%，各位。谋杀儿童的邪恶亿万富翁仍然在统治着世界。我们唯一做到的是让我们自己感到凄惨落魄，甚至我们开始觉得该死的马克思是不是用他的社会经济学出卖了我们？但这些经历让我们变成了一个很聪明的小男孩，让我们好像得到了世界真理的学位一样。我们现在必须要放弃打造共产大业，要致力的为这个世界创造一个精准的模型。我们现在必须要努力的选左派思想，来尝试回本。我们是被蹂躏的共产主义者。我们现在需要点这个，但是我们需要升级才行。 为什么遗忘失去要钱呢、应该是免费的才对。该死！他那个洗。看 ，Kim 快不行了，我们得赶快想出哪里可以给我们15的经验，快了！跟老太婆讲话哦，老太婆会给我15的经验的，我相信。办到明天再继续也可以啊。
Give me a moment. The cold never does any good for my bronchitis. I'm fine. Fine. Don't you worry about me.
You're still worried. It's very worrying.
Now, what do you want from me, policeman?
这怎么了？
I'm no one. Just an old woman who cleans these hallways. If you can call it living. I've a little room upstairs right next to the cold room. It's barely bigger than a closet.
And all she gets, too. The coastal wind beats down hard on the cold room door outside.
Ask away, policeman. The hell am I supposed to know? Another nut job, I assume.
She really doesn't like those nut jobs. Bad blood there.
Oh, that one is a scientist, a future scholar. I think he studies astrology at the community college. Education's good. I always tell them to study. Something to do with all those stars around his door. He asked me to leave his drawings up on the wall. A symbol of what now? Huh. I thought Revachol was the capital.
她只是个老太婆，她不理解这些事情。
Some lunatic lost his mind. All kinds of morons pass through these halls.
With how small these rooms are, wouldn't you want to break the wall down?
I don't want to talk about Dewaiters. Addicts. All of them. And sometimes I hear them screaming. They don't like me cleaning behind their door. Think I'm listening in on their fights.
So she doesn't. Not after that one time. There's a that one time here. It didn't get physical. She heard something she doesn't want to hear again.
We saw unpaid utility bills. Aren't they going to be evicted?
No one likes them in this building. It's only because of the kids they haven't been thrown out. I don't like talking about those people.
这是哭他爸的意思。
The artiste? Nothing I can do about her, I'm afraid. She ruins the walls faster than I can clean them. Still, she leaves an old lady to her business. More than I can say for others. Oh, oh, you'll find plenty of Martins here. Don't you worry. Pea-brain. Someone played a trick on you. Martin
我们被骗了。
is a name for anyone who comes from Martinade, like Chin Jamrock or Raoul Ravachol.
Oops. You really didn't get the joke
我们还是无法理解。
I thought it was obvious. Anyway, officer, we don't have the witness's name.
Yes, yes.
在我的经验，拜托。
The scrawny boy who's always smoking like the devil, right?
Somewhere in the building, a child starts crying. You hear a radio tuned to a talk show.
神学家共产主义哦，那我们真的应该走共产主义的 的启蒙任务了，那会有完美的解答。
What's he in trouble for? Talk?
有什么好笑？
He lives upstairs in room 28. Go to the balcony. It's one of those doors there. He's usually home in the evening.
Thank you. We should go check out his apartment on the back.
干差5 ，OK， 差5有什么差？甚至没有差5，差1。哦，这也有完美的解释。这些很棒的，就是他所有东西都有完美的解释。这就是他强大的 writing. Everything has a perfect explanation. 我发现我来错地方了，这不是我想来的地方。
Ooh, the piggies have learned how to saunter up staircases. I didn't think you could do that with hooves, but here you are.
我们已经进化了。我们警察不喜欢关着的门，或者是够不到的地方，或者那些站得比我高的。
Yeah, you got me now. The dynamic between us has completely changed.
That smell coming from her paint bucket. It's not paint. It's heavy fuel oil.
Red-dyed heavy fuel oil intended for exclusive use in government vehicles, to be precise.
哦，抓到咯。
What did you think I was using? Aquarels? Sucked it out of a cop's fuel tank myself. Back in Jamrock.
She really did it. She's proud of it too.
You ain't seen nothing yet, Piggy Boo. I ain't no snitch.
Actually, there is a shortage of people who talk to us in a normal, calm, informative manner.
We weren't put on this earth to make your life pleasant.
他不是很合作。只是想要吸出我的经验。哦，这个就是他的家吗？哦，这就是我要的。那我想要毒品，想到可以直接穿墙看到他们。哇塞，发大财了！这让我们的屁股看起来很棒，让我们的屁股看起来更有型，对不对？
The pockets of these new jeans are perfect for sticking your hand into. Your hand enters the pocket. Your fingers brush against
it.
Soft, yet crinkly. Hey, it's a chewing gum wrapper. It reminds you of the fruity juice of apricots. You should inspect it closer if you have time. Something about the wrapper's texture is familiar. Not familiar in a good way, you might say.
口香糖给我们不好的熟悉感，充满痛苦的熟悉感。
There it is again. The scent of apricots with a touch of cinnamon.
删除我先
Smells
生。
like the end of some distant summer. The surface of another planet or some ancient temple. Bitter, citrus, sweet. It seems to grow stronger like a glow with every breath you take. until a blossom of skin and flower petals erupts behind your closed eyes, made of toffee, cream, and distance. You just had to take a dive. Feels so familiar. Yes, from the height of antiquity, a long time ago, millennia ago, on an island of time you can never return to. The sun sets into the sea, but the water does not boil. Instead, it turns to liquid gold. For a moment, the world's store of precious metals seems to increase dramatically, and you are rich. There is a movement next to you, the shuffle of a small coat, warm like the evening. But when you turn toward it, there's nothing there. Why are you talking to a gum wrapper?
因为我被 trigger 了 ，OK。这个口香糖包装 trigger 了我，让我回想有思乡的味道在里面。你发现了某一个存在的痕迹，它跨越界域，一直跟在你身后。你说像是某种可怕的狩猎者吗？那是个阴郁的跟踪者，某种聚合体导致你堕落的幕后黑手，可能跟所谓的 X something 有关。不过毫无疑问的是，要确定他真实的身份是不可能的。但你还可以记得你是在哪里闻过这个充满背叛的气味。没错，快点使用白果蜜口香糖包装纸，来重现第一次闻见它身上不可轻信气味的那一刻吧。就跟你讲，我们被一个口香糖的味道给 trigger 了。好，我刚刚把手电筒出来了。为什么裤子这么多呢？一般的都是会让我们更想嗑药是怎样？看一下，一般的裤子让我想嗑药。这才是我想去的地方。
This door is made of metal and appears to be reinforced. Someone here really values their security. Number 28. This is where the cleaning lady said the smoker on the balcony lives.
Let's see if anyone's home. Knock on the door.
No one answers.
Looks like the young man we are looking for isn't home. I think our best chance to catch him is in the evening.
现在是晚上 ，OK。
We should return tonight after we have finished with our day's work. How about 9 p.m.?
OK， 还有15分钟后。
The smoker on the balcony. This is why we are here, right? He might know something about the murder. Tonight at 9 p.m. right here, apartment number 28. Good, let's go.
No one answers.
We should return in the...
好啦，干8点9点有差吗？那我知道该怎么办了，我们在门口翻个杂志就可以了。我们来看看工会期刊吧。化为青烟 ，La Fumée。 马丁内斯的《共产主义前沿理论研究》期刊，从激进共产主义的马克思主义的视角出发，审视当代社会的诸多问题。封面上印着已故弗利萨尔国王的夸张肖像画。我还以为这是一个什么一个围巾之类的缠在鹿角上，他的头额两侧长出了对白色的鹿角。
The face of King Friesel smiles at you. For some reason, the smile now strikes you as more forced than it did before. Comrade, as you know, this journal takes its name from Mazov's immortal expression, Du Cristal a la Fume. This was his way of describing the way the rigid, crystalline structures of capitalist ideology turned to smoke under communism.
共产主义，水晶化的共产主义将会被水晶化资本主义将会被共产主义碾压为青烟。
But like the structures of capitalist ideology, we too are at risk of going à la fumée. Unlike many publications which are content to spoon-feed their readers reassuring drivel, La Fumée is committed to telling the radical truth, even when that truth may drive away potential subscribers.
敢超呛。
So please, if you value our radical Mazovian perspective on contemporary politics, culture, and international affairs, please consider subscribing today. Yours in struggle, the editors.
What do you expect? It was laying around the office of the Debarders Union. They're probably bankrolling the thing.
You flip back to the front of the magazine. The table of contents unfolds before you.
我想了解国家发展，应该是国际发展。
This section includes a long, tedious critique of the latest round of free trade negotiations between the EPIS nations and the Free State of Semenine.
Oh God.
You also skip over an article about heavy fuel oil smuggling along the Messina border, something about bear wrestling in Samara, book riots in Yugograd. Face it, you really aren't interested in foreign affairs. You're not even sure where most of these countries are.
如果我们智力高一点，应该会有很多评论，但是我们什么都不知道。
You flip back to the front of the magazine. The table of contents unfolds before you.
何谓 constant culture?
It takes a moment, but gradually it dawns on you that Kunst und Kultur must mean arts and culture.
该死的中文雷了，我们的对话选择。
As you leaf through this section, you come across several reviews of recent radio plays, as well as a brief artist spotlight featuring a local artist identified only as CS. The main feature, though, is a long essay titled Tip Top Tournée, a critical Mazovian perspective. The actual article is surprisingly light on details, but after skimming a page or two, you gather that it has something to do with motor carriage racing.
我们来看看共产主义者对赛车有什么看法。
You think you're settling in for a relaxing recap of the most recent season, maybe sprinkled with some nice anecdotes about a few of the more colorful drivers. Instead, you find yourself skimming a 10,000-word feature about all the politically problematic aspects of Tip Top Tournée.
赛车到底有什么问题啊？
Where to even start? For one, there's the crass commercialism of its sponsorships, and then there's the practically criminal emphasis on deadly motor crashes. Oddly enough, this article has two bylines, Nasdaq Encolada Bernal and Excellus Buca. Under capitalism, the article says, every pursuit has its price. Every pleasure, even one as elemental as the joy of racing others around a track, is reduced to an advertising opportunity.
对，连实况都只是打广告的机会啊！这整个产业，所有的产业，你知道，如果任何免费的东西你拿到的话，不是因为它是免费的，因为你是那些公司的商品，他们用来卖给广告公司商品啊。
Thus, the so-called tourney becomes a competition between increasingly meaningless brand signifiers. Your discount laundry detergent racing against a pack of Astra cigarettes, or even a fritter.
所谓的赛车其实不是在赛车，他们其实真正的参赛者只是各大公司而已。没错，但是可以看这些车撞在一起很酷。
And that precisely is what's problematic about it. Were it not for the promise of random, spectacular violence, audiences would quickly lose interest. At the end of the day, it's the destruction of these 750,000 real racers that you're really watching for.
想想75万的赛车可以买多少营养午餐？哇哦！我先是。
You see, one cannot avoid the conclusion that Tip-Top Tourney is simply the apotheosis of spectacular entertainment under capitalism.
I can safely say the thought had never crossed my mind, Detective.
我好奇还有什么东西只不过是资本主义社会生的缩影。
I'm sure most things are, if the young men who wrote these articles are to be believed. If I had to wager, I'd say they've never even seen the inside of a motor, much less a motor race.
干，你喜欢赛车吗？
They write with a large grain of salt.
You flip back to the front of the
为什么我讲这些话没有加经验呢？
unfolds before you.
为什么我没有加4经验？他妈的，马克思真的 fuck me over。
Unsurprisingly, much of this section is taken up with articles declaring unqualified support for the dock workers' strike. You skim the headlines. Paint the harbour red and white. Martinez tames the wild pines. Finally, there's a brief article by the writer, G. Martin, accusing the owner of the Capeside Apartments of illegally attempting to evict certain communist tenants simply for not having paid their rent.
有篇文章作者叫加马丁的短文，加马丁也是一个假名。Anyways， 但指控公寓竟然想要驱逐共产主义租户，因为他们没有钱。该死的共产主义者，为什么不多杀一些？
The writer G. Martin remarks dryly that capitalists love wealth redistribution, so long as it's only redistributed upward. You flip back to the front of the magazine.
OK， 我们任务完成了，但是我们可以顺便做一下这个东西，因为我需要2点的经验，我不只需要1点经验，我需要2点的经验，不是2点经验，我说2点的等级。我们守着这个公寓的唯一入口，然后它竟然出现了。
Gendarmerie, you found me.
It feels like a Friday. He seems to be in a good mood tonight, and his shirt is still unbuttoned.
Beautiful. So tell me, are you here to make things right?
尸体解下来了，不是吗？我不只让事情变好，我会让它好的不得了啊！
Beautiful. I have some good news for you. My Sunday friend is visiting me tonight. I told him about you and he'd like to say hello. Step in. He's already waiting. Yeah, it does feel like the end of the week. Such gentle weather. Trust me, you do. That's nice, but I don't have anything to tell you. It's my friend you're looking for, not me.
He takes another drag of his unfiltered
早去找他的礼拜
cigarette
天
and looks
朋友
around.
了。
Downstairs, a cat crosses the yard. disappearing into the bush.
Besides, I've got to run.
He's going to leave you alone again. That's sad.
Don't worry, we'll meet again. Come find me in the bar of the Whirling some evening.
A man on high heels stumbles out of a basement club, music blasting over the entire district. It's chilly, and as the chemicals hit his nervous system, 1,000 shivers ripple through his body. Something flutters in the corner of the lieutenant's mouth as you're saying those words.
We'll talk. Just not tonight. Take care, alright?
What? 满满的经验。
Different, of course. He smells good. He smells good, and that's weird. Come on, detective.
你的肚子在咕咕
You're the
叫。
potential witness to interview. His Sunday friend, remember?
精打趣的问道，精打趣的重复了我们的话。实际上我有信心，我们可以再升级，所以我再解开一个柜子。跟着讲的话，我们可能要抽根烟，我们才听得懂他在讲什么，你知道吗？现在抽根烟还不够啊！什么东西可以让我变更聪明？没有。又是非常想要嗑药的衣服。戴在警察头上想到河里。你家超级多垃圾壳，你知道吗？实际上够高到我觉得可以嗑个吸根烟。为什么一半的时间他妈的我都手上有其他东西的时候不能够吃东西？心脏跳动。
You have acquired the hat. Keep it, officer. It looked good on you. My name is Charles Vildrouin, and I am an official with the coalition government. I work for the Institute of Price Stability on assignment from Surlotte.
该死的国际政府高官，为什么出现在一个大学男孩的公寓里？又在盖被子聊天吗？
I heard you talking to my friend outside. Very good. Super. I am here to assist you in any way possible. Ask me about the hanging.
No, first ask an innocuous personal question to get the interview off on the right foot. Yeah, let's fuck with him. Who does he think he is? Assisting you?
竟敢协助我！
Oh yes, my friend has a great eye for these things. He refuses to tell me where it came from. It's a mystery. I believe they call this type of frame industry. It's very good. That's really all I can tell you about it.
What was that? You were supposed to fuck with him, not compliment the decor. The lieutenant takes out his notebook and nods to you to proceed.
5% 高兴我的选择。
The coalition is only looking out for the price stability. Inflation is a killer, like a heart disease blocking the normal circulation of the economy. It must be
What the
controlled.
fuck?
The economy impacts the entire international community.
我感觉我要开始讲很多社会主义的话了。
Well, I'm renovating it. It is an interesting project. The building used to be a 12-story skyscraper before the cannons took the top 4 stories off. This, of course, happened when the coalition forces landed here. You could say I'm undoing some of the material damage the international community caused when we arrived here. Yes, as I said before, I am a commissioner from Sur-la-Clé working for the Institute of Price Stability. This is one of the main projects of the Moralite.
到底什么是
La communauté internationale is what Revacholians colloquially call the coalition. In other words, the nations that stopped the disaster of the revolution.
他们就是敌人。
It is the most important thing.
啊，这一切都是。
It's the central goal of any sound monetary policy. Maintaining the price stability is essential to maintaining high levels of economic activity, which is essential for maintaining high levels of employment, which is essential for maintaining the social stability.
Basically, it makes sure the price of bread doesn't change.
Précisément. Too much inflation, bread becomes too expensive. Too much deflation, it becomes too cheap for bakers to cook. That's why the Institute of Price Stability works to keep inflation just below 2%. But not too far below, no. Too below is also bad. Below, but close to 2%. The coalition believes in the importance of informing the public about the benefits of the price stability. Transparency is one of our principles. Would you like an informational pamphlet? A sound monetary policy is essential for addressing uncertainty. Stability is the raison d'être of the moralite. It's the reason why I identify as a moralist. But oh, I don't have my leaflets on me today. That's too bad. You can always call our information line. Making information available is part of the Moral Intern's commitment to transparency. It's the international organization for moralists, hence Moralist International. The Institute of Price Stability is just one of its many mind babies, as is the coalition.
Doing one's job doesn't automatically make one anyone's bitch. Besides, there are more nefarious powers to work for than the moral intent.
But of course. Well, do you value freedom? Do you believe in a normal, stable world governed by democratic values? Martinez? No. Martinez is something else. Revachol is generally difficult. It's led by an interim government, which means it hasn't yet achieved full democracy. But they are working towards it. You're all doing very well here, relatively speaking.
道德家听起来很无聊。道德主义是外国侵略者的异性形态。Revachol 必须由 Revachol 的人自己统治。只要工人阶级还被踩在资本家脚底，民主就是一场毫无意义的骗局。简直现在每次被人说话的时候，我都会选 D。以上都不适合，这就是道德主义。
Of course, the detective's personal views do not represent the views of the RCM.
扯后腿啊 ，Kim。
Ah, my friend. But the lesson of the revolution is that communism does not work.
你们只是还没尝过真正的共产主义。
Ah, yes, the unattainable ideal. Never settle for less. Good luck with that, my friend.
It's not like you're going to gather any forces soon with all that drinking. And he knows it.
Now, enough of this delightful political interview. Was there anything else you wanted to ask? What's there to say? Sur-la-Clé is a modern, urbanized country that measures very high on the human development and freedom index. Mostly, though, it's known as the executive heart of EPI. Moreover, it is a great sponsor of less emerged countries. Revachol is only one of its many darlings whose progress it supports and cherishes.
所以说 Clive 是喜欢美国之类的，喜欢英国。
Because a great percentage of Revachol's culture hails from Sur-la-Clé. Its language, its people, its cuisine even. Or at least in the downtown La Delta area.
Jamrock and other parts of the international zone have been mercifully spared of Sur-la-Clé's love for meatballs and mashed potatoes.
Sur-la-Clé 听起来像奇幻英国。
Whatever you wish, officer. I'm sorry to say I did, officer.
因为是你做的吗？
Because I did it? What's the meaning of this? Is your colleague here trying to arrest me?
He sounds almost mocking, saying those words.
There is no meaning, sir. Please excuse my colleague. This case has been a great strain on his nerves.
Back off. Now. This man has diplomatic immunity. It serves no good to accuse him of a crime he didn't commit.
I won't stand for this. What's your name? I'll have your badge.
我没有把紧张，谁给你这个？
You're a disgrace to the RCM. Out with you. This instant.
Good God, detective. One more stunt like that and they'll have you institutionalized. Now let's go, before you get us into any more trouble.
Remember that guy, Ace Ulsterberg? The red-headed officer asks. He leans against the doorframe while his bald companion is hunched over an open filing drawer. The guy who got canned for trying to arrest that diplomat, the bald man asks. Well, technically, he got canned for being shit-faced on the job. But yeah, trying to arrest the ambassador from Gottwald while shit-faced was probably a contributing factor. The bald man squints at a file, then returns it to the cabinet. A new drawer opens with a grinding screech. He turns back to the redhead in the doorway. What made you think of him now? Don't know. He just kind of popped into my mind. Excuse me, Chester, says a female officer who threads her way into the file room. Where is old Ace now? The bald officer asks. Here, the female officer chimes in. I believe he's part of a certain bureaucrat's security detail. No fucking way. The redhead is dumbfounded. How'd he pull that off? Family connections, I'd imagine. His father-in-law works for the Office of Standards and Best Practices. With that, the woman exits, a grey file folder tucked under her arm.
我们激怒了假日朋友，我是在帮劳工出气而已 ，OK？
I have nothing to say.
他讨厌我们跟他开个小玩笑，那没差啊。官僚垃圾，他们在意的事情，他们所知的事情都太抽象了，我们的大脑也无法理解。开始我以为可以升级的，我们只讲了一个左派的事情，我以为可以只讲左派的事情，也许我们不该激怒他。7点了，现在几点了？现在快10点了，该死！ 我靠，姑娘，我爸已经睡2天了。
The aging alcoholic is still there, breathing.
那我们可以去受诅咒的商店街晃一晃，应该就可以升级。不过我不大确定，其实也不那么急着升级啊，明天再搞也可以。先把 Kim 送去睡觉，然后再去找那个 Joyce 扫。
Just an ordinary wall, nothing to see here.
这东西要弄到什么时候？3个小时。那的确是去跟 Joyce 讲话耗3个小时，不错。看他书就这样放在外面淋雨，这样好了。
This coin-operated viewer is facing southwest. Its coin slot is full of fossilized bubblegum, rendering the machine permanently inaccessible. The metal feels cold and wet under your palm. It looks unhygienic. A thick layer of graffito covers the lenses. You spell out the word owner written on the other side, with N and C scribbled backwards. That's Kuna on the lens. Under the graffito, a sea of blues and greys appear. Behind the water,
我们差点看不懂他在说什么，你知道吗？
and reads. On it, a church on stilts, lanky weather-worn wooden planks, an X-shaped cross topping its tower. The church looks old and weather-worn. There are no lights in the windows. Around the large wooden building, you see chunks of sea ice gathered on the beach. This coin-operated viewer, why place a tourist attraction in the middle of such poverty?
There was a revitalization project in 49. The design studio tried restoring Martinez to its pre-war glory. It didn't stick. They got as far as the street lamps and that statue in the intersection before something went sour. I suspect it was Evar's class doing. He muscled them out. It's how it usually goes around here. That's odd. I could swear you were a police officer.
"看这个应该可以讲很多左派的话。
Not a good track record of mental health in that family. As you look up, you notice something about the statue. There are some odd indentations on the king's chess piece.
这个什么游戏？这是 Disco Elysium， 它是最大手笔的视觉小说，这样吗？ 哇，为什么就这种废物成功？怎样？
Old sumptuous Philip was known for his profligacy.
为什么重要的都甩失败，这种就甩成功？
Well, he blew through the whole national treasury, starting the decline of one of the penultimate century's greatest superpowers, the suzerain of Revachol.
就是这家伙拜倒了整个王国，让共产主义兴起。
His own maladministration foreshadowed the fall of the monarchy. During the anti-centennial revolution, an end to his family line and the monarchy on the Insulindian Isola.
赶快阻止这次涌入。
Stories have it that he had his bedroom converted into a treasure chamber, where he stored unfathomable wealth. Krugerrands, bars of gold, ornate weaponry, armor, and various chalices. There were whispers he slept on a huge pile of gold-dipped feathers, like some obese dragon, instead of a bed, like a normal person.
The man certainly knew how to live.
But wait, you haven't even heard about his fabled cocaine addiction. You see, old Philippe wasn't just good at squandering the national treasury on gold and ceremonial weaponry. He was also a prodigious snorter of nose candy. Not just any nose candy, we're talking Royal Philippian blow, allegedly twice as potent as the stuff you find nowadays.
Whoa.
And purple. Philippian cocaine was purple. Cocaine. His Majesty's courtiers said it helped him connect with the higher realms.
我们也很喜欢跟至高领域建立联系，我必须承认，至高领域是我的朋友，而且是真的，而且很强壮。
That's what the revolutionaries said 150 years later, right before they emptied out the royal mausoleum and dumped His Majesty's mortal remains in the Insulindian Bay. Beneath the cold waters of the Insulindian Bay, thrown there by the revolutionaries after they cleaned out the royal mausoleum, a group of marble pleurons still surround the king's vandalized tomb. A deathly cold wind swoops up candy wrappers and old newspapers. The original was blown apart by communards, then further damaged during the landing of the coalition's airships during the turn-of-the-century revolution, when Martinez was leveled. Some years ago, a group of liberal, artistically inclined individuals, designers mostly, thought it would be ironic to restore the statue of the most wasteful ruler of Revachol in the poorest part of the city. The statue is supposed to capture the moment it was blown apart, like an instant frozen in time, a rare butterfly trapped in amber, floating on a sea of shit.
但反正这就是但基本上就是奇幻路易16的雕像在革命的时候被炸了，然后一些人觉得把这个雕像修复起来，然后盖在最穷的贫民窟很有趣，就是这个雕像的故事。然后我们就把那个雕像又捞回来，然后拼成它一个在被炸烂的瞬间的样子。
People in Martinez tend to disagree, as do many prominent art critics and thought leaders with more nuanced social awareness than the young ironists. Philip III, the squanderer, however, with his bronze face up in the air, doesn't seem concerned about what the hoi polloi think of him in death. Something with great kinetic energy seems to have impacted the cuirass, around where the heart is. Someone shot him in the heart. Interesting.
Okay, I can't see it, but I take your word for it. Well, Martinez is riddled with bullet holes. This place saw a lot of action during the revolution. But the statue is recently renovated, so maybe a joke? Target practice or political statement? Why not? What this shows us is guns aren't too uncommon here, and people still shoot them, sometimes at kings.
The king stands high above you, surveying the bay, mute and indifferent to your sightings.
Fucking hell！ 他妈要生出13的经验，算了，今天做不到了，明天吧，就睡觉吧，已经晚了，连公贼都跑了，连公贼都受够了。除非书店下来开着，为什么书店晚上的时候反而开？晚上的时候灯反而开。
An old call box with a matrix of push buttons lists all the companies in the East Delta Commerce Center. Silence. Not an off-key melody.
Kudos! Please stop calling here. Grown-ups don't have time for your stupid games. Oh, I'm sorry, officer. I thought you were... But the doorbell is broken, and the bookstore shouldn't even be on the list anymore.
A single beep indicates that the line has gone dead. You ring the... Just seeing the words, Andro Orlando, gets your hackles up. Its very existence is a threat to your masculinity, to say nothing of your hair. All you hear is static. You ring the doorbell. You wait for a minute or two, but all you get from the call looks like someone has melted half the plastic. You hear static. You can almost hear them breathe.
Yes, hello. This is Tricentennial Election. Have you come to place an order? Oh my God.
The lieutenant exchanges a look with you.
It's you. Oh my God. I didn't think I would hear your voice.
It's a woman, and she knows you. Your heart beats faster. No, something's wrong here. Are you sure she's talking to you?
Michelle, just please.
Sounds like a ghost. Wind blows through
有鬼魂被困在电路内。
surroundings. Inside the building, a cold memory hangs.
Why did you even call? I don't understand. You've been gone for months. I thought you didn't care. Ever since I came to live here, it's different. As if my mind's been wiped clean.
A spot of static overrides her words.
It's so nice. It's so nice to be able to finally forget.
She sounds like she's about to cry. The cold is deep under your skin, as if you were talking to someone who's 100 years away, somewhere inside the building. She doesn't answer. Silence. The only thing you can hear now is static and waves washing ashore on the bay. Another seagull passes by. It's getting cold standing here.
It must have been some kind of faulty wiring. We should maybe stop playing with this doorbell.
You press the number sign on the keypad that terminates the call. 12 name cards on the call box read.
我偏要
No.
他妈的
The last thing you need in your life is more hysteric emotions. Forget it. Find something else to do. Nothing happens after you.
没有啦，还有超自然要素。我们等等会探索这个世界观最超自然的东西，这个世界的本质。但那是等等的事情。操！好作死！先把 Skim 送去睡觉。Kim 你知道他老了，知道吗？他老了，他9点就要去睡高高了。现在10点，你知道吗？看他这样守在门口，我天 ，Kim 也会超时空传送，我发现那是我们以后会习得的能力，但很明显我是错的。我们可以去探索世界的本质了。但没有啦，基本上只是那个门铃有被接到了什么无线电台的秀干扰而已啦，或录音的干扰而已啦，没事的。 你是你喜欢淋雨是不
You're
是？
back. Good. What can I help you with? Not an umbrella, I hope. I don't need one myself, you see.
All around you, rain keeps falling down. On the wooden boards she's standing on.
We okay?
Around you.
Very rugged. Good choice. Now, I suspect you had questions. Nothing like talking to pass a rainy day. Am I right? Everything. Right up to, but not including, trade secrets. First, you'd have to repeal the Emergencies Act of Trade in Aliments. That gives me the right to silence. It's quite the octopus. Why? By throwing off half a century of foreign domination under the Coalition. Unfortunately for you, the Coalition also leases you the right to police West Revachol.
You'd be shooting yourself in the foot.
But I am derailing us. You wanted to know about the strike. I believe the official title is Senior Labour Negotiator. In practice, I'm a grocery clerk. I relay the union's demands to Wild Pines and return with Wild Pines' counteroffer. They're not. That's the problem. The union stopped all negotiations a week ago, after that awful lynching took place.
看着像 Thatcher， 他的确是个 ultra liberal， so 也许。
Now they won't even let me into the harbour. There's a 2-meter-20 racist behemoth blocking the gates. Yes, Jean-Luc Measurehead. Let's say I was not making the kind of progress I'd hoped for when I first arrived. I arrived 3 weeks ago. Yes, in the middle of February. The bay was still partially frozen then. I prefer to do these things on site. I wasn't the original negotiator here. I took over after Mr. Gaumont hit a wall with Mr. Clare, the union boss. Mr. Clare refused to speak with Gaumont despite concessions he'd granted the union in prior negotiations. The union won significant concessions, including overtime pay and a medical plan. This time their demands are more, I guess you could say, aggressive. There are leaflets everywhere, and banners. What did they say again? Every worker, a member of the board.
Most of the workers probably don't know what that means.
我喜欢。
Then you might also like their other slogan, Demand Democracy.
这还不够 hardcore communism.
Personally, I agree. It lacks the pizzazzo of every worker a member of the board. It's quite simple, you see. Every time the Wild Pines group makes a decision about what? About anything really, it needs the signature of each of the 2,200 workers in its Martinez terminal.
但反正码头工人说他们要每个人都要基本上有发话权啦，所以但你可以知道这个公司雇多少人？这公司他上次跟我们讲说雇7万多人，才多少？所以这港口只是公司一小部分，但是却港口工人却说他们要基本上就是决议投票权，这完全不合理，而且。工会已经在过去几年拿到非常大公司的让步，给他们提高薪资跟健康保险了，所以不知道为什么突然要这么激进、不可能接受的要求，一切就是有更大的阴谋啊
Just so you understand, this is but one of 22 terminals owned by Wild Pines. Essentially, not only are they kings of the company, they are also kings of the 72,000 employees of Wild Pines Group. That may well be. It's not up to me to decide who is king, but as negotiations go, it's not a swell start.
该死的共产主义思想触发的时候都没有讲，我更不知道有没有用。有触发几次啊？我看今天有提高啊，但是至少刚刚3次都有触发 ，OK， 非常好。
I'm not sure. Naturally, I assume that was just their opening position, a hard-nosed tactic with a side of mockery. But there's been no follow-up, just the same nonsensical slogan repeated over and over again.
但是谈判的时候一开始讲一个很狮子大开口合理的嘛，当然这是双方的共识是，当然我们会讨价还价下来，但他们没有想要讨价还价， 已经罢工4个月了，然后他们仍然是说就是。
And now, people are getting lynched, I hear. Behind the whirling in rags, a disastrous situation
仍然没改变
if there
啊，
ever
没有
was
完，
one.
仍然没有让步。
The scabs? You mean the huddled masses of Jamrock come to plead for work where the union refuses to? Yes, they were organized by Wild Pines. The contractors picked them up from Jamrock and drove them over. This is standard practice. The company reserves the right to man its stations.
然后跟我们讲，门口那些抗议群众也是公司派来的啦，他们不是真的 Martinez 的人，因为基本上 Martinez 完全是工会掌握的，工会想要罢工，不会有当地居民赶出来当公贼的。
Mr. Clare told him to... How did he put it? Fuck off, midget. Gaumont is short of stature, you see. Keep in mind, this is a negotiator Mr. Clare has worked with before, and who was more than fair with him and the union. Everard Clare is a man of the utmost integrity. If you can say one thing about him, it's that he always puts the interests of the workers first. Of course not. Everard is fantastically corrupt. I imagine he has a thick, viscous goo where you and I have blood. He is the most corrupt individual I have ever seen, and I deal with men like him for a living. If there is anyone more venal, more irredeemably nepotistic, then it's his twin brother, Edgar. Yes, Edgar looks exactly like his brother, except for that lazy eye. He also talks exactly like Everard does, and when one's term as foreman is up, the other takes over.
真是方便了。
It's how they circumvent the term limits, you see, with a funny little switcheroo. While in office, they've embezzled God knows how much of their workers' dues. The Débardeurs Union was once a perfectly normal institution. 20 years ago, anyway. It must not have been easy to establish under the Emergency Act, but they did it. I can respect that. Organised labour at its best, as they say. Then something happened in the local chapter elections. The brothers Clare came and transformed it into a... how do you say... Why do you think so?
为什么没有升级？我都在选，我不是想选东西。
Ha! A real man of the left.
哦，有加4。
What else can I tell you about?
我觉得我以后真的不能够选意识形态的思考，这会让我没办法点我想点的东西。
I'm glad you asked. There was a woman, the previous forewoman of the union. She disappeared. Yes. On the last day of the local chapter elections, her daughter phoned in and said she wasn't running anymore, or coming to work. Ever. End of story. Indeed. The company suspects foul play, but there's nothing they could do. It was a union matter.
但是，反正这 Everett 兄弟是在最近几年才突然，基本上整个抢下了工会这样，然后之后就变成一个独裁组织了。
The point of the presentation is, these kinds of things happen around Claire's. Watch out when you're dealing with him.
甚至连可能暗杀人都在所不惜。
Of course. How else can I help? You have. And how did you like Mr. Clare?
Finally, time to choose sides.
他是个出色的男人，又出色又正直。
come on now. He has his uses. How else would he have stayed in power all these years? Or wait, corruption. That's how he's done it. Fantastic, Verne-like corruption, reaching into the bowels of the earth. Of course, I don't expect you to share anything he told you with me. I'm not a Verne myself. But if you felt like passing some information, how could I stop you? Are we not human? Are we not curious to hear another person's take?
Tell her she'll like you for it.
Yes, your disgusting necktie agrees completely. Let's gossip.
Oh. That's so helpful of him.
Mr. 在帮我找我的枪。
So very, very helpful. And how is that going? Do you have any leads on that gun? Yes. As you said.
Mr. Evans.
Your gun, yes. Do you want to talk about something else now?
不，我很想一直讲他在帮我找我枪的事情。
Well, that's not good. Looks fine over here. You sure it's not some sort of glandular problem?
What is happening?
No, it's not that. It's... I have no idea. This is bad. Executive function is completely shot. I keep pushing buttons and nothing is happening.
这是不是性暗示？我不知道，我觉得我们宕机。Mr. Everett 正在帮我找我的枪。
Sweetheart, please stop repeating that now. Please.
我们终于找到方法让他害怕了，你知道吗？之前 Kim 把我们拖出去讲疯话，就是为了让我们整个给他精神打击。但现在我们终于做到了，给他巨大的精神打击。
Yes, Mr. Everard. This gossiping idea was terrible on my part. I take it back.
The woman scans her surroundings as though a neurologist might magically appear. Fear seeps into you as you say it. Your skin crawls.
Mr. Everard is helping him find his gun.
为什么那么秀的插花怎样？
Do you want me to take you to a hospital, sir?
You think we should turn him off and back on again?
Officer!
Yeah, we need to pull the plug. There's nothing else to do. Are you not afraid it'll kill him?
当机可能不是个好主意。
Okay, I'm gonna do it. Hold on.
Detective! Is everything all right in there?
你觉得呢？重新开机完毕。
No, not at all, I'm afraid. You seem to be caught in some sort of loop.
因为我们摄取的美不够，听起来很像我。
Never mind the details. We've wasted enough time as it is. What matters is that you seem to have got out of it. Now, please ask me something else before it happens again. Something that, preferably, doesn't include the words Mr. or Everard. Did you now? What sort of borscht is he making? The strike brew. That's a classic. And by turn up the heat, I presume you mean put more alcohol in it. Why, if I may ask? Why make them more drunk? Aren't they corked enough already?
我这种行为是出于对工人的同情。我点燃斗争的火焰，为了许多方法来崇拜熬过。真的是。
Very curious. A very curious thing to do. What else?
我在听那个。
Of course, Detective. Should something come up later down the road, don't be afraid to drop by for a chat.
如果 Kim 在场的话，你点 Miss Ever 这方找我签的话，会有一个不同的版本。
Until then, is there anything
我
I
们
can
该
help you?
理解世界本质了。
More lessons in basic reality? My favorite part.
你是什么？
Go ahead, ask me anything.
这是什么？
A bird? A sphenicid? A flightless bird of the polar regions? Of course you're not, my dear. I'm just terrible at guessing games. Ah! This is the pier of Rue de Saint-Ghislaine, 33A, where the tenants have been kind enough to rent me a slot. Or two. A pre-revolutionary tenement. Old buildings are called tenements, you see. And new buildings, bâtiments. After les bâtiments nouveaux. But 33A and 33B are not nouveaux. They're old. This one used to be 8 to 10 stories tall. A real high-rise by the standards of the last century. Built to mirror the skyscrapers across the bay in the Delta. That was before the war, of course. Mostly the urban middle class, I believe. This was once primo real estate, before the cannons lopped 4 or 5 stories off. Splat, splat.
我卡耳朵是多好啊！
You could be wrong, but from here it appears as if she's running the brush across her throat.
Wonderful.
你是什么？那是什么？
The girl in the old lady rags. Looks like a sullen and rebellious member of a teen infraculture. Yes, you and I belong to the supraculture. We're common, the herd. The music on the radio, the food in the chain restaurant, those are all too popular for the girl in the old lady rags. She prefers a fantasy world, an infraculture with its own dress code and vernacular. It is an illusion, I'm afraid. There is no refuge from the supraculture. Young people who dye their hair funny colours and wear old people's clothes are stupid, and their little rebellion is self-defeating. All right, what next? What I am not is a basic term of reality.
Everyone wants to talk about themselves. She will, in time.
These are unimportant times, Detective. You and I were born after the dust had settled. 1,000th of a second too late. For the big time.
The smile of a predator. No doubt what she's got in mind.
All men are predators, dear. Nothing much to be done about that. It's all a matter of where you get to file your teeth. The revolution. It's quite easy. Every 100 years or so, our species gets together to decide what's next, who gets shot in the head, and who gets the mineral rights. It's a real kerfuffle.
又是一堆该死的猩猩在 duking it out。
Why, of course. We're talking Duke Out Central. Full swing intra-species warfare. No, I would say the apes were neutral. I don't know about that.
No. The tiny apes are doing all they can to be better. It's not their fault.
小猩猩努力了，各位。小猩猩努力了。
Those would be the communists. Generally speaking, 40 million people got shot in the
What
head during
the
the World
fuck?
Revolution. But the communists, they all got shot in the head.
死了4000万人，大革命死了4000万人，这什么概念？ 人类的历史有一场战争是死1000万人的吗？好像没有，就是那么多人。
She's not gloating. It's a relieved celebration.
Oh, and the anarchists too. They shot them well. So well, one forgets they even existed.
妈的写相反，但反正无政府主义者也全被枪毙了。实在枪毙的好到大家都忘记他们存在了。
Did they ever? Before they got shot themselves, they shot 2 million people. Don't worry. Krasmazov shot 15 million people in the head. But that was all the way over in Grad. Oh, lots of people. Even the king got shot in the head.
所有人都被爆头了，我的天！
Or drowned. Accounts differ. It was unceremonious. Just as well, he wasn't actually the king. Just the king's nephew. The real king abdicated and lived out a long and productive life as a venture capitalist in Grad. I prefer the term risk-averse. King Guillaume was nobody's fool. He could smell a PR disaster brewing, so he got out alive, and his nephew Frissel got shot in his place. Him and tens of thousands of his wonderfully fascist kinsmen. It was a wild time. The liberals got the mineral rights. And by mineral rights, I mean everything. Liberals are usually middle-class people, Detective, or the remaining gentry, the beneficiaries of the pre-revolutionary arrangement. Some were rich enough to stay with a constitution, with monarchy. Big mistake. Others bet on the revolution. They were called the ultras, or ultra-liberals. They fared well.
大家认为战反大革命是有几个派系啦，就无政府主义者、共产主义者，和我们的 liberals， 我们的自由主义者，但就是前中产阶级，前中产阶级到中上层阶级，但这些有些人加入了尝试保护君主宪制，但有些人则是加入了共产主义，但最后这些人是最后的赢家。
They didn't win so much as survive. We were the last ones standing when the war ended. Everyone else got shot in the head, remember?
We. She's one of them. Of course.
所以他就讲了，他就是所谓的 ultra liberal。
To foreign intervention, the coalition. Those people really took the mineral rights.
但你没有啦，其实真正的赢家是外国人和女人。
The liberals took everything that wasn't nailed to the ground. The coalition took the ground. The ocean, the laws, and the people. The coalition of nations. Grad, Mesk, Vesper, Messina, Oranje, and Sur-la-Clay. The armed center of the world. They landed here and ended the revolution. It was the moralist thing to do.
但反正就共产主义革命杀了枪毙了200万个人以后呢，然后又掌权了忘记了20年吧，大概20年左右，国际就组了国际远征军过来，然后把所有的共产主义者都宰了。而真正活下来的就是这些基本上就温和派的共产主义者。但这些温和派共产主义者也不是共产主义者，他们背叛了共产主义者，他们是叛徒，他们把自己的国人给出卖给外国势力。各位
There is bitterness in her voice, tempered with understanding. She is critical, but ultimately understands the cause.
而外国势力就是所谓的 moral income， 就是所谓的道德家。
The moralists believe in keeping everything exactly the way it is.
反动派
They believe in mineral rights and not shooting people in the head.
他们只想赚钱。
At least not in the same manner and volume as the others do. They are the long-standing provisional rulers of Revachol now. the coalition government.
世界真正的主流意识形态就是 moralism.
The rulers of Revachol, and also the world. These guys are strong.
This is their zone of control. They embolden the RCM with crumbs of the same law they took. Technically speaking, you are a moralist.
我不是。我是不觉得我是个道德家，技术角度上是这样，但就我所听到的，我喜欢所谓的道德家。如果总是选择不承诺、选择不用承诺的话，我真的就是个道德家。但我也不是个道德家，因为我无法承诺我是道德家。
Of course, not easy to be moderate about head shooting in your line of work. The turn of the century revolution? Don't answer it. It's a trick question. The revolution began in 02 on the Isla of Grad, though by the end nearly the whole world had gotten involved. It wasn't a who, but a what. A pandemic of Zarat, a particularly virulent prion disease, which the authorities in Grad proved unable to contain. Then Mazov came along and overthrew the government. It made people overthrow their governments. Of course not. It was a highly infectious microorganism that destroyed brain tissue. The actual causes of the revolution were material. The pandemic only provided the spark. From Revachol and Grad? Not far. The world managed to cauterize itself. Mazov's government was overthrown in 08, and the coalition crushed the Revachol commune 2 years later. It was the end.
好像比我想象快。对，没有掌权的10年，还没革命到共产政府被推翻，只过了6年。8年，实际上。
Why? You and I, officer. Our lives in the zone of control.
而我们就到了现在。
Something tells you her life and yours are not that similar. Maybe it's because she has a boat and you have that necktie, a pair of pants.
No doubt. But we share the same time and position on the planet's crust. That counts for more than you think. A city-state divided into free market zones under the everlasting interregnum of the coalition of nations, and you, of course, the citizens' militia.
The clatter of typewriter keys fills the main hall of the reappropriated silk mill, Precinct 41. Chad Tilbrook presses enter. Outside, Officer Elfboy Williams slams the door of an armored motor carriage.
The zone of control is the third incarnation of Revachol, after the failure of the suzerain and the commune. Modernity. They developed the marvels of the inter-eastlery communication, telematic milieus, radiation, colored plastics. Meanwhile, in Revachol West, the aftermath continues for the 5th decade.
但我们就是处于这个落后状态50年了，全世界都在不停的进步，但是我们就只是个占领区。
43 years. Hard to fathom, I know. The 20s saw a decade of urban war, west of the river level, offshore platforms in plains. Still, it's regarded as an improvement on what came before. 08 to 19 was simply hell.
但基本上，世界政府把 Revachol 打爆后，还是有一大堆武装的战斗，又持续了很久。
The 30s? Things settled down in the 30s. Revachol East transformed itself into the world's largest tax haven, with the international community's blessing. For the first time in a long time, it seemed like things were going somewhere. No, it was a market mirage fueled by cocaine and quantitative easing. The 40s dispelled it like a cold splash, an Isla-wide hangover, you might say. And here we are.
因为但是30年代有一点进展，但其实没有，那只是经济泡沫化前世。然后40年代的时候，经济泡沫化，然后就爆炸了，然后我们就到了现在。
Welcome to reality, baby.
From the looks of it, the 50s haven't been much better for the zone of control. You can see it in her eyes. Days slipping away.
I've no right to be dissatisfied. This shirt is Barbara Muscova, this raincoat is impervious to rain and is guaranteed for 100 years. My daughters will wear it. No, it's just... we could have had so much more. Every one of us. If only we played it right. Good question. What would you have done differently?
No, her first.
And I asked you, past-less detective of the Citizens Militia, what insight has acute encephalopathy given to you?
Here's some wisdom, lady. Say the death thing.
要不然叫我选这个怎么办？妈呀，翻译的整个是完全不打意，但基本上是在呛。你想要知道智慧吗，小姐？我他妈要选3了。但这也不是攻杀小。我觉得我要选3。
The cold runs down your spine as you say the words, like a small electric charge that seeks grounding.
我们的话恐怖到我们自己都全身颤抖。
I see. A tenth of humanity. The key of history is in the lock. Keep turning at any cost.
不惜一切代价，为了打造伟大共产主义，杀光1/10的人也在所不惜。所以这个世界有40亿人，然后40亿人也是。直到一切都变成我的，直到中产阶级、上流社会人士还有工人全部消失，直到人类的时代结束。我不知道最近讲世界末日话会不会给我们点数，应该不会了。妈的，末日警察的垃圾机，为什么选这个
？The wind stops, and for a moment, there's silence. The cold dissipates into your parietal lobe like a dissolved bullet. All is quiet on the Martinez Inlet. A dog barks. A gunshot echoes off the walls of some distant building. A woman's voice.
Capital is past.
What?
Past? That's what De Briever, the leader of the Communards, said before she got a bullet in her head. Don't get me wrong.
共产主义人似乎很喜欢打自己的头。
Capital is finished. But understand this. Its end won't free anyone. It will only lead to more suffering.
但这个 Joe Smith 虽然他是一个 ultra liberal， 但他其实不是 ultra liberal， 他其实是 moral intern。其 其实游戏它的背景，它的那个角色肖像背景都给你很有趣的资讯，就是它的背景的配色，其实跟你讲这个人的信仰，不是每个人，但大多人。所以，对，就刚叫号穿 Libro， 但他穿 Libro 颜色是黄色 ，Morrington 的颜色是蓝色，所以他其实是一个 Moralist。Anyways， 但他其实对我们伟大共产主义非常的同情，你知道吗？他其实也只是想要让一个世界更好的人，但他不觉得，或他同情共产主义，是因为他觉得至少共产主义者的目标是好的，让世界变得更美好、更多，但他不认为共产主义是正确做法。你还是没回答我问题，该死。
No, her first.
And you would have died, most likely. Not far from here.
他没有回答我的问题，这家伙，这是蛇。
Defending the coast the day the coalition took the city.
The cold runs down your spine. She gestures toward the waters. The wind stops. There is silence on the dark water of the Martinez Inlet. A dog barks.
Then you would have died fighting against them. Long before the beachhead, our time is a shadow cast by that day. They are what they are. Who knows? An afterbloom may yet come. Anyway, enough sentimentality. Is there anything else you want to know?
Now's your chance. Ask her who she is. She won't get out this time.
这一次我们终于可以问了。
She won't maneuver her way out of this one.
I am the vilest of the vile. A traitor, a devourer of nations and infants. I am an ultra.
OK， 他就是 Ultra Liberal， 我错了。
It's sharp.
我的天哪 ！It's a liberal， 厉害！我把那个点字球，我也是。什么是所谓的 ultra liberal？
An ultra liberal. It's a type of liberal from the revolution. It's not the moderate kind. Haven't you heard? I am a nether creature of the Forbidden Swamp, one of those who pushed the king under a ship wagon and betrayed the revolution.
但他们被所很讨厌，因为就是他们活下来了。他们革命的时候跟共产主义者合作，把国王给推翻。但是国际军联军来的时候，却把共产主义者推到前面，被干掉，然后成为最后掌握所有经济命脉，没有被共产国际掌握经济命脉部分的人。
We surrendered the nation to the financier pirates. No sane person identifies as an ultra-liberal anymore. Not in broad daylight. You're a man of the left. A true communard. Tell me, now that I've uncoiled myself, are you repulsed?
In her green eyes you see a mixture of truth and self-satire. Decades of guilt and pride. Forgive her, but only because you like pearlescent teeth and those light green eyes.
这就是你要性暗示 Max。你觉得
A devil, who being of great charm and guile sneaketh into the homes of the godly.
Beneath her waterproof raincoat and silk shirt is a body imbibed in numb 12 perfume. You are suddenly and intimately aware of it.
What the fuck？ 为什么他翻译成想要搞破坏？我还以为我们在忏悔， 这没办法不选这个。你也想要来一发吗？
Steal, kill, and destroy. That they say we've been doing for over 4 decades now. Perhaps regrettably, I've had my fill for this century. In any case, I'm glad we can remain collegial despite my scaly bulk, and my perverse need to infiltrate and betray both kingdom and revolution. Honestly, I may have even preferred it, had the communards won. Who knows? They might really have built something better. But they didn't, because they lost. When the dust settled, the Liberals were the only ones left to clean up the mess. By virtue of their survival, they were handed enormous power to shape the future. This was all our last generation managed.
我在那边吃晚餐呢，我一天只是为了实况。我本来要煮馄饨面的，但是为了实况，我到现在什么都还没有吃。我现在还在饥饿。
With due respect to our overlords, the eternal caretaker government that keeps Martinez a monument to the efficacy of its artillery.
While a gentle wind sweeps the streets in the rebuilt east, light drizzle washing it clean, lights go up and motor carriages circulate the tracks.
I would not have relinquished sovereignty to the coalition. Not here in Martinez, and not in the Stella Maris or Delta beachheads either. If not for my own sake, then for my daughters. We had an obligation to defend our sovereignty. We should have burned the whole Isola down rather than let them have it.
但反正 Ultra Liberal， 那虽然是个 Ultra Liberal， 但是然后在国际政府下过得很滋润。但是他说，如果还有一次机会的话，可以回到过去的话，他妈的要跟国际政府拼命了。
Dark orange flames reflect in her green eyes, an oil fire on the ocean.
哦，谢谢 Torpedo， 我的确可以用这个钱买一杯汽水。实际上，我现在就应该去倒杯奶茶。哎，你在讲那些过得滋润的人，大家都去拍，大家得益者都会说，当时会跟我们一起牺牲的，别再骗了，你只是个得益者。才不相信他。
Yes, I suppose I am. But I wouldn't be a patriot anywhere but here. Yes. Whatever else I am, I'm also a mother and a wife. Now, shall we return to reality? Glad to have been of assistance. The little that I know. Anything else?
看一下那个节目是还要搞到什么时候？还有1个多小时。我现在2点经验收。 你可以，也许可以点杏子口味口香糖。我实在忘记，
You're back. More lessons in basic reality? My
Conceptualization.
favorite part of the day. Go ahead, ask me anything.
甜，为什么低呀？不这样点，因为实在太低了。哦，我知道了，我有一个眼镜可以戴。
Glad to have been of assistance. The little that I know.
没有办法把它快速弄到4点的话，我其实不是这样点它。穿着尿味衣服，让我们的想象力变得丰富。应该是这样的。我现在可以抽烟吗？还是会马上挂掉？我会马上挂掉。
You're back. Good. What can I help you with?
但是如果我边喝酒边抽烟，就不会挂掉了，各位。那我不知道为什么有时候不能喝酒吗？为什么不能喝酒？跟我解释。我们充满能量，来吧！
You're back. More lessons in basic reality? My
完
favorite
全没有
part
听
today.
到。
Go ahead, ask me anything.
This is impossible.
A strange
Oh my
calmness comes
God.
over you as you look at the world. The waves sway and sleep slowly. The doubt is fully formed in your head. The alien feeling persists. You just can't word the question yet. You have to complete the jamais vu thought first.
但反正我们想要问的问题太复杂
Glad
了
to，have been of
我
assistance.
们不知道怎么问这个问题，我们还需要再深思一段时间。
Just an ordinary war. Nothing to see here. Yeah. Why?
会回来的。我现在可以再点一点，但是我需要这一点来重置那个跟 Titus 对话。我们会有更多机会的，不要怕，我们会有更多机会的。你的胸口。还在喝啊？睡觉啊，各位！妈，12点了。
Can I help you? Another thing. Great. I love those. Why? No. Fuck it. I don't want to know. I don't want to know why these degenerates do what they do. I thought we had one good guest in the building.
He really doesn't like it being classy.
Yeah, well, she's not a guest, is she? Anyway, I'll forward that woman her bill and be done with it. Now, was there anything else? Yes? Do I have a shaker in...
He sounds irritated.
Am I wearing a... Am I smiling? Do you... Because I'm not a...
What you want is play it calm. This man needs to understand you need a drink to help the community deal with police stuff.
Well, you're not getting it, asshole! Now, was there anything else you needed?
没有免费酒喝，让我感到难过。
You see a heavy steel door with a prominent dimple lock. The key fits the dimple lock. It takes a bit of effort to turn it after all these years. Dust rises before you like mist. A tomb? Haunted? No.
我调查这个应该会让你可以免费重启那个 check。明天 Kim 来再弄好。这里竟然还有钱在桌上的喂！干走餐厅厨师的小费。不能把 Kim 吵醒。What?
A mirror hangs on the bathroom wall. In it, your face, adorned with the expression. The bed is still cold from the broken window, and not too inviting. The bed is still cold from the wind blowing in from the broken window. The mattress creaks as you close your eyes and try your hardest to fall asleep.
Here we are again, my broken bud. The waves are coming, carrying you away. But you can't go. No, you have to stay. Always half aware of yourself. You're not cooperating, brother man. It's your disgusting body. Even through your sleep you feel a vague discomfort suffusing it. Your belly and your sides are unpleasantly tender. You wish you could curl up into a fetal ball of safety. But you cannot, because of the pain.
And there's a lot of it, ever present in your organs. It's like every one of them has their own nasty song to sing. Every cell in your body is moaning in agony, asking, what did we ever do to you?
全都是 limbic system 的错。
And why might that be the case? What lava lights on such a floating corpse to be?
"我想要进入更高的存在。
You had your chance, Harry boy, and you missed it. Started thrashing around, acting all brave. Now the dark center has vanished. You'll never get back to it.
不，再喝更多就可以回到那黑暗的神圣之地了。
You're just stuck here, in the half-world. Could try looking at other people, really looking. But why would you want to start doing that?
Oh, baby boy, you're already in the other place. There's no nourishment for you tonight. Maybe tomorrow.
Maybe if you know, like, took a lot of drugs before you go to sleep.
原来如此。 原来是我们没有嗑够多的安非他命，难怪睡不好。
Maybe if you weren't so hard on yourself.
What do you think you're doing right now? Coming to some greater awareness? Look at all these lights, blinking in and out of existence. Thoughts! You're just pretending that you're asleep, even to yourself, while the world goes on without you.
Let it. Let it.
But it never seems to let you go, does it? Time to rise and wipe that shining sweat off as best you can. Gather your bearings. Rock and roll.
该死，嗑了药醒来后就不见了。我还是希望我可以继续扣着我的 buff 的。
A mirror hangs on the bathroom wall. In it, your face, adorned with the expression.
The expression. Where's Kim? Where is Kimmy boy? Oh. 啊，我觉得今天先这样吧。也有很多人出现在我们的地方了，甚至还有2个警察，各位。条子来了。好，那就感谢各位收看，我们下次也许运气好的话，明天就可以再继续。如果运气好的话，哈哈哈哈。